What's up, internet? My name's Ori. It is Friday, August 8th, day number 32 inside the Big Brother house. Who won HOH? Who are their targets? Big shots are about to be taken. And remember, there's still a power in play. But first, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. Hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We are live. If you guys are new here, we do daily live feed updates first thing in the morning all season long. But on Fridays, we do it a little bit differently. You get the same update you normally do, but all condensed down in the beginning. And then afterwards, we jump into the chat. We hang out with everybody. I see you guys all there. We are live right now on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, so you can choose where you like to watch. You can keep up with the chat right down below. But we do have a little bit of a recap for you guys. If you haven't been keeping up with everything that's been going on this week, it's been pretty entertaining. We've got a lot of stuff going on for the rest of this week too. I'm excited. I think we are in for a huge, awesome, fun week of Big Brother. Let's get into it. Let's get that music off there. First off, your recap. Riley, he won HOH, and it looked like he was going to nominate Mickey, Morgan, and Ashley, but Mickey used her power. She took over the HOH. He wasn't able to correctly identify it, so Mickey took full control. She then nominated Riley, Keanu, and Kelly, but Keanu ended up winning the veto, and then we had Jimmy go up as the replacement nominee. That led us into last night's episode, where we saw Riley, Kelly, and Jimmy battle it out in the blockbuster competition. Riley was able to win it. It was one of those tilt puzzles. He did a really good job. Jimmy messed up on his first ball. I thought he had a good strategy and a good shot to win it, but he wasn't able to pull it off. Jimmy then went out 9-2, sort of, versus Kelly in the vote. No big bombshells from Jimmy either, other than him throwing him sunglasses. But he did also leave a condom wrapper in one of the trash cans earlier in the day, which I don't think was necessarily found by anybody else. It must have been found by somebody, though, because Rachel did mention it last night, saying, "Who opened the condom box?" So expect that to be floating around this week. Excitement did come, though, during the episode. We had kind of a really interesting first, I think, in Big Brother US. In a very funny moment, Ashley and Rachel had a conversation after Rachel voted for Jimmy. She was like, "Hey, you need to vote for Jimmy," having those whispering conversations in the hallway. Ashley then goes on in and she votes for Kelly to be evicted, but then decides, oh, wait, hold on. She goes and has the conversation with Will as he's coming on in, decides, wait, let me go back inside and change my vote. So what's really funny about this is, other than the condom situation, the only thing that really happened pre-feeds was Ashley going up to Jimmy and Rachel and telling them, like, yeah, Jimmy, if you don't win the blockbuster night, you're not going to have the votes, like, you're leaving. So, like, she kind of knew the situation, but then with all the chaos that is what Rachel can do, she's whispering in people's ears saying, this is our chance to get Kelly out. Ashley's then conned by Rachel to vote for Kelly to leave. But Will's like, what are you doing? This isn't good. The crazy thing is, like, you're not supposed to be talking. When the vote's going on, you're not supposed to have conversations. Like, this is not a thing. And honestly, I don't think I can ever remember somebody having this kind of an immediate turnaround and regret on a vote. The closest I can come to thinking of ideas of when we've seen something similar, back on Celebrity Big Brother, we had Meta World Peace. He ended up voting Chuck Liddell out of the game. Afterwards, he was like, yeah, I voted for Chuck to stay. They were like, no, you didn't. You voted for Chuck to leave. And he was like, he was completely shocked. And then the only other kind of moment that was very, in the same vein we had Topaz from BB Can in season 1. If you guys don't know BB Can and the whole story with that, she went and she voted for who she wanted to be evicted instead of win, right? So instead of putting her friend's vote in, she put somebody else's vote in. That ended up being the whole thing that flipped the vote, and then her friend lost. But when the host, Arissa, was reading the vote, she's like, wait a minute, like right in the middle. She's like, hold on. That's not right. So those are the only times that I can remember of somebody like going back in, or not even like nobody's ever done that. They went back into the. I'm flabbergasted, guys. I'm completely just at a loss at all this. Now, we did see some fallout of that kind of right away, as one of the last things we saw on the episode was Mickey saying to Ashley, hey, who was that second vote? Right? Like, what are you doing? So you would assume this would continue to keep Ashley like squarely at the bottom of her side of the house, because nobody trusts her. Like, not even a little bit do they even trust her now. Not even for a vote, because you can never count where she's going to end up going. That takes us to the feeds. Feeds were down for a very long time after the episode. We didn't get them for so long, and from what we know, the HOH was the knockout competition, and that's not a very long comp, right? So either there was a lot of downtime between the competition and the episode ending, and we didn't get the pre-comp feeds that we normally do, or what I'm thinking is just that in general there was a long break, because when we came back to the feeds, the HOH was already getting their room. There's also just my little theory, potentially, and I'm not 100% sure, there could have been a little bit of yelling at them by the producers for the whole tomfoolery with the vote and all the chatter and taking so long. So maybe that was a little bit of a thing that was going on. I have no proof for that or anything, but I can't imagine production was exactly thrilled with that. But it did lead to some fun entertainment. So maybe that was a thing. But really, overall, the feeds being down that long, it felt like punishment for us more than anything else. Ava wins HOH. When we come back from the feeds, she's pretty much getting her room already, saying, who wants to see my HOH room? And it apparently, like we said, it was the knockout competition where you choose 2 house guests to go on up to answer a question. Whoever gets it wrong is eliminated. The person who gets it right picks the next 2 to go up and battle, and then so on until you're left with the final HOH. Now, a couple of things that I heard about this from the different talks that they had. Rachel apparently went up like 3 times during this competition. They just kind of kept targeting her to put her on up. And also, Zach apparently didn't know how the knockout comp works. He apparently thought it was like a bracket style thing. So he picked Mickey or Morgan and Will to go up against each other. And then in the very end, it came down to Ava and Will to go on for the HOH, and they were both trying to throw it to each other. They were laughing about that, how that neither of them actually wanted to win. But yeah, Ava comes up with the victory here. Like I said, when the feeds came back, she was already getting a room. Ava actually ended up saying that to Rachel, she's going to put up Keanu, Vince, and Zach, and she hopes that keeping Kelly off the block is going to bring her closer. Now, you heard that right. Keanu, Vince, and Zach. Here's the thing, though. Many of you know Zach has his 10K bribe, so this could lead to a lot of really interesting things that are going to take place. Vince was having a chat with Will while this was going on, where he was basically crying about not having, made enough friends in there and his anxiety. He's pretty much just terrified that he's going up. Vince is absolutely losing it right now, that he's going to be put on the block. Ava ended up repeating that same plan she told Rachel to Will about putting up Keanu, Vince, and Zach. And they pretty much actually, during this conversation, finished an entire bottle of wine to themselves in this whole process. And listen, I was begging I was begging so bad for more Ava and Will's one-on-ones. I was so looking forward to seeing these because it was like, I know they happen. I just don't know when they happen. And it looks like we're going to be getting a whole week full of them. And let me tell you, if they were as fun as this one was last night, we are in for a good week. To quote Drew McIntyre for my WWE fans, I prayed for this to happen. And it did. So I'm very happy. That was a terrible Scottish accent, I know. But I'm very thrilled that we got a really long, fun Ava and Will conversation to really get where their heads were at. He filled her in on Vince crying to him and how worried and scared he is. They also talk about how when Ava won HOH, Zach was shaken like a leaf, so he was terrified. And then Keanu, obviously, he's the easy one to kind of throw up there. But also, there is an idea that, hey, Keanu can go and win that veto so that Zach and Vince stay up on the block. Potentially, if they do need a renom, this is where they start having some conversations. And Ava says, she's like, I guess Lauren, but I would rather not have to put Lauren up on the block. But they also mention Morgan, and Will was like excited about Morgan potentially going on the block. He said, if you put Vince, Zach, and Morgan up on the block, that would be epic. And he was really pushing that. But it does seem like they're going to stick with Vince, Zach, and Keanu, with Lauren and then Morgan as potential replacement nominees. One of the big things Ava said too was she's like, everyone has to go home or else this would be called squatters' rights. So that was pretty fun. Who's that coming on in? We got Camden coming on in with a $10 super chat. I wonder if Vince and Keanu left on the block during eviction night, then some people will take the shot at Vince. I think so, Camden. I actually think so. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So she was saying that everyone's got to go. So if it wasn't that way and everybody got to stay, it wouldn't be called Big Brother. It would be called squatters' rights. And then they also mentioned the thought of potentially Ashley, but they think for right now they're going to keep her off the block, but definitely not share a lot of info with her. They're really worried about her leaking more information, so they're not going to tell her much. Mickey ended up joining this conversation after a while. Like I said, that Ava and I could have watched Ava and Will drink a bottle of wine for 5 hours. It was awesome watching that 101. I cannot stress that enough. Will was having a great old time. Ava was hamming it up for the cameras, and it was amazing conversation. Mickey though then joined and they fill her in on the plan with the nominations. They also talk about Ashley not shutting up her mouth, and Ava tells Will and Mickey that, you know what, like, I want to solidify this trio, right? Like, I wasn't really into the core four, but like this is my core. Will says that, you know, he's like, sometimes he just wants to pinch Ashley, like tell her to shut up. Mickey says like Will's actually the problem with that because he doesn't hold her accountable for actually, you know, spilling all that secrets. And Ava says like, you know, she'll tell her that she's been messy. And the other thing was that Ava said was the thing about Ashley is after this week, anyone that she would go run and tell stuff to, we're putting them on the block. They're all going up. And Will loved this. He's like, you see what she's like a mafia boss. He was loving this. At one point, there was even talk about like who they would put up next week. And Will, because one of their plans here is that they would pull in Catherine and Riley as kind of like votes. And they even want to potentially make that into kind of an alliance with them, even if it's just, you know, for the numbers. So Will was like, yeah, I don't know who I would put up. You know, probably Catherine and Riley. And Ava and Mickey are like, no, like you can't do that. He's like, listen, I'm drunk. I'm sorry. Like you gotta just excuse me. I'm just a little drunk. Ava has her full speech pretty much planned out on what she's going to say for nominations. She says, Keanu, you're the only person I've yelled at in this whole house. No further comment necessary. You've been blocked. Then she's going to say, I don't even know if I can say this. I literally don't know if I can actually say this on YouTube. She says, Vinny the Lip, and then she kept messing up his last name. His name, this is not his last name, but she kept saying Vinny the Lip Punini. I hope I don't get in trouble for that on YouTube. You got your hands in so many pots. They're gonna think you're a gardener. You've been blocked. Then she's gonna say to Zach, Zassafrash. You were shaking in your boots when I won. That makes me think I don't trust you, or that you don't trust me. You've been blocked. she's got a whole speech she's doing here. So that should be entertaining. It could change from now, but that's what she's got planned. After this, though, Vince, Morgan, they were kind of in the backyard, kind of chilling. Vince, again, terrified that he's going up. He's literally so scared. Mickey goes out and like she starts saying like, I don't know what Ava's gonna do. You know, whatever she decides though tomorrow, it's going to be based on what she's seen. Like she's been clocking people. She's really observant. Like she listens to what's going on. And she said like it seems like she's had this decision made even before today. Like she knew what she's going to do. And I'm telling you, it's going to be big. And Vince is so worried. He's terrified. But then he also goes like, I don't see myself as a big move. So it's going to be interesting. Who's that coming on in? Suresh? It might be Suresh. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I apologize. But Suresh, you don't know this. When you hit the subscribe button, me and you, we now have a final two. Don't tell anybody. Listen, it's a secret. Nobody listening to the conversation. It's just me and you right now, buddy. We are going to the final two. If you hear anything about other alliances out there from the chat or anything, don't listen. It's not true. It's not true. Me and you, we're going to the final two. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. Where were we? Oh, yeah. So Vince was so worried. He thinks he's going to be him on the block, but he doesn't see himself as a big move. So he's like, what's going on? Another thing to kind of keep in mind here, though. We were talking about the Ashley vote, right? And how crazy that was that she went back, did this whole double vote thing. As far as I know, the only one who actually knows that it was Ashley is Will. I would imagine people have some sort of an idea that something funky was going on because Rachel, Ashley, and Will took forever in that diary room. So they have to know that something was happening up in there. But the whole thing about, you know, voting Jimmy out, there's still this question of who that second vote was. Rachel and Mickey are kind of thinking of pushing Keanu and Vince as the people who did this vote. Now, here's the thing. I don't know if Ashley told them, but at the very least, the plan right now seems to spin some doubt all around this vote in general that Ashley did. So there is potentially some of that could be floating around. So keep that in mind going on this week. I would imagine Ashley's going to have this blow up in her face, but she's either lying to everybody and they haven't caught on yet, or she's told them and they all kind of are like, yeah, let's just spin this here. Because there was a lot of talk about who it potentially could be. Mickey was even saying, you know, like, oh, I don't think it could be Ashley and or Catherine, right? So there is potentially a little bit of a plan where they're going to try and blame that second vote to evict Kelly on Keanu and Vince as they're being nominated here. So keep that in mind. We'll see how that all goes as well. And then the last thing that we saw before everybody ended up going to bed was Morgan and Vince up kind of late, still just more worrying about, you know, going up on the block. His biggest worry is that, you know, if I go up on the block against allies, that I probably wouldn't have the votes. And it's potentially looking like that should be the case here. So once again, Ava is looking at Keanu, Vince, and Zach to go up on the block. But let me just put this out there, right? If Veto King Keanu, if he goes and wins that veto, Morgan and Lauren go up. But then it's most likely both of them up on the block because Zach would then use his 10K bribe to come on down for the block. Ava would be 10K richer. And then it would end up being Vince, Morgan, and Lauren up on the block battling it out for the blockbuster. That we could be in for a wild week here. And it could definitely split the house very, very hard. Now, I do also have our brand new allegiance chart for the week. So let's take a look at how things are because there's some major changes here on what the actual standing of the house is. Here we go. Take a look at this. We have our allegiance chart here, and I've switched it up a lot, right? So on one side, you got Ashley, you got Rachel. They're probably the farthest over to like that side, whereas Ava, Will, and Mickey are kind of playing the middle a little bit more than those two are. Rachel, like, she's got some stuff going on, like she's trying to maybe you know, connect back up with Keanu, but I think that's just such a hard relationship to really kind of solidify. They just keep going at each other and bickering. It would really work if they would actually come together and keep bickering. It would be her perfect kind of like secret undercover like duo where it's like, listen, let's just not go after each other and protect each other, and it could really work. Mickey is probably the closest to the middle because she does have like all that stuff going on with Zach and Vince and Morgan, and they're kind of calling themselves the melting pot. But it does seem like her loyalties right now are very much closer to Will and Ava. Morgan very much in the middle because she's kind of got stuff with Mickey still going on. But Mickey is definitely moving away from Zach and Vince with all the stuff that she found out during all the Jimmy stuff. And now actually post nominating Jimmy was having a lot of doubts on whether she actually should have put up Vince in the first place. We got a bunch of people play in the middle, actually. Down towards like the bottom of the house in the middle, you would have Kelly, Catherine, Riley, and Keanu. They're people that would like go up as pawns or potentially be up on the block, but also not necessarily targets right now, and also people that they kind of want to bring in to alliances for numbers. And then on the other side, you would have Lauren, Zach, and Vince, and Zach and Vince take big drops all the way down. They're probably going to be seeing the block this week. Lauren could potentially see the block this week as well, but Lauren wouldn't be necessarily the target. I think she would end up staying if she was on the block with a lot of the people we've been hearing. Morgan could potentially even end up on the block as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes. But that is our allegiance chart for the week, and that's pretty much what I got for you right now. Who do we have coming on in? We had Ayub and Stephanie coming on in, hitting that sub button. Guess what? You guys don't know this, but when you hit that sub button, we now have a secret alliance. And listen, I like the two of you. I think the three of us, we should be a final three. We're going to the end. Now listen, it's a secret. Shh, don't tell anybody, but we're going to go do it. If you hear anything about any other alliances, don't believe them. It's not true. It's not true. We're going to the end. Just me and you. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. But yeah, it's going to be, I think, a very wild week in the house. I'm excited to see how this all plays out. Ava is kind of a fresh face in there in that HOH room, and I think she's going to be putting some fresh faces on the block this week. So I'm excited to see how this all plays out. We are definitely in for a fun week. But once again, we're going to be jumping into the chat here. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, if you're having a good time so far, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. You can also check out all of my socials as well. We got Twitter and Discord. Discord's a great place to hang out and kind of chat, especially now that the chat on the live feeds isn't on there anymore. You can hang out in Discord and always chat about what's going on. There's also a lot of other great channels in there. We got one for Survivor. There was a lot of fun chats going on there about the new seasons of Survivor coming up, but also Survivor Australia versus the world's going to be coming up. We got a chat for The Amazing Race, and The Amazing Race, like, Big Brother is basically coming out fairly soon as well. You can even post pictures of your pets. If you got a cute pet, let me see your cute pet. Throw your puppies, your kitties on up there. We want to see them in there as well. You can also check out things like the Ori Fund, kind of one of the most direct ways to support Oris all around the world. But yeah, thank you guys all for the love and support you do give me. But let's head into the chat. What are you guys saying? Let's see. We've got G-Ma Sunshine over on Twitch. We got Mooney over on Twitch. Laura over on Twitch. We got Laura over on Kick. And then a whole bunch of you guys over on YouTube. We got Ty, Alexander, Zero, Nick. Who else do we got in here? Carol, Tasha. Whole bunch of, I know I saw some others in here earlier, like Otter. I know I saw Otter. We got Donnie, John. I see you all up in there. How are you guys? So what do you think of Ava as HOH? What do you think of her nominee plans right now with Keanu, Zach, Vince potentially going up? And then if Zach doesn't win the veto, Ava's gonna make 10K, and then she's gonna have to put somebody else up on the block. It could be amazing here. Let's see what we got here. Kelly is mother. Tommy, what's up, Tommy? Dud, what's up, Dudley? We need more Ori WWE impressions. I prayed for this to happen. I prayed for this, and it happened. It did. That's my Scottish. It's not great. It's not great. 80s Fisher. I don't even know if I can say that on YouTube. But watching that play out last night was amazing. Ava is a mess. Thank you for the shout out. Love Ava and her choices for the block. It's amazing, ain't it, G-Ma? Ain't it amazing? How does the power work? When does he need to use it? Prior to nom or before being nommed? So, as far as I know, how Zach's power works is after the veto ceremony. So, if he's still on the block after the veto ceremony, so like if, let's say Keanu wins the veto and he pulls himself off and Lauren goes up, potentially even Morgan, right? That would be, like Will said, epic. One of them goes up on the block. So now you're looking at Zach, Lauren, Morgan, and Vince up on the block, right? One of those two and Vince. If the ceremony ends and Zach's still on the block, he can take himself off. Ava gets the $10,000, and then Ava has to name a replacement nominee. She has no say in this. It just happens. Like, she can't refuse it. She can't be like, oh, I don't want your payoff, right? And Ava does seem like the type where she's like, I know not to take money from where you don't know where it's been. She feels like, you know, she might know a few people in Long Island who are connected. You know, they might be in like the waste management business, right? Maybe they got some construction going on. You know, there's some people that, you know, there's a little bit of main men over there, right? So I think she knows to stay away from money that could be dirty and hasn't been laundered properly. But she wouldn't have a choice. It would be an offer she couldn't refuse. Oh, I shouldn't do Brenda. I should stop there. I should stop with the impressions. But yeah, that's the impression that I get on how it works. So if he's up there, let's say nobody is taken off the block and noms stayed the same. Same thing would apply, right? If nobody used the veto and noms are still the same, then it would be Zach would have the ability to take himself off the block. Now, Zach could potentially also win the veto. And from what I understand, he cannot use it on someone else, right? Like, let's say Zach won the veto and then takes himself down. He can't then be like, oh, I want to use it on Vince. As far as I know, he can't do that. So there's potential, like, I don't know if Zach would be down for this, but there is potential where I think Zach would try for the veto himself, I think, just to save it for potentially the next week if he needs it. Because we still don't know 100% when jury's fully going to start here. Could it be a 9-person jury? Could it be a 7-person jury? We know his power is good until jury, but we don't know 100% when that is. So there's a chance he might just want to keep it in his back pocket, just try and win veto, take himself off that way. But I think he would also potentially be happy if it ended up being that Vince wins the veto and then Zach can just pull himself off afterwards, and then Zach and Vince are both safe. That could be a scenario we see play out too as well. That would be kind of crazy. I wouldn't want that to happen because then Keanu's in trouble, but then hopefully Keanu would win the blockbuster and that would be good. But as far as I know, that's how it works. After veto, okay, if he wins veto, he keeps the money. Yes. Let's see. What are you guys saying over here? It was over the top smack talking Keanu. I watched it and I would have been pissed off for him too with the crickets. She was over the top there. I go back and forth with Ava. So yeah, it was one of those things where Ava, I think, just happened to be the one to get that line right. If it had been anybody else, he would have said probably the same thing, just because everybody was so silent and quiet. Uh, but I thought it was a pretty funny line of you got a prompt? You got a prompt? Don't you got a prompt to say? But Ava's like, hey, I'm going to stand up for myself, which also I think, here's the thing, I think she has the right to stand up for herself as well in that situation, right? Like, yo, don't talk to me that way. But maybe a little over the top. Because that's the thing. Keanu's growing on me. Keanu's growing on me a lot. And I like how he's got a good fighting spirit. He's unintentionally comedic with his gameplay. But what he says sometimes, like, I like how he's playing, right? Like how he's handling himself is pretty good. It just so happens he was ratted out a lot by some of the people he trusted. So overall, Keanu's really growing on me. I'm kind of rooting for him a little bit, right? Like, I try not to let too much of my like personal opinions kind of affect how I, do the updates and stuff like that. I try and keep it as unbiased as possible, but I do inject some of my thoughts here and there, especially when things are just completely ridiculous. But yeah, I think I'm rooting the most probably for Keanu now at this point. He's the underdog too. Who doesn't like rooting for the underdog? Ava had a prompt to read. I like Keanu. Keanu better watch out when he gets out because he may end up sleeping with the fishes. What is Zach and Vince and Keanu were on the block? Lauren and Morgan play and win the veto. They use right? So that's a good question. So what if Zachary? That's a good question. Let's think this through a little bit because here's the thing. I don't think any of them are planning for this, but I think I would know what would happen. So what you're saying is Zach, Vince, and Keanu go up on the block. Morgan or Lauren win the veto and use it to take down Vince or Zach. That would mean that only one of them would be a potential renom or replacement, right? The issue is Zach would have to make sure he'd be like, listen, don't use it on, like, he would have to say something because they could potentially just use it on Zach, right? So let's say Morgan wins it, saves Vince. Zach takes himself down. Lauren would end up on the block next to Keanu. And then here's where I think the replacement nominee would go. We're looking at Ashley. I think then that's when Ava would go, hey, I got to put Ashley up on the block. Because one of the things they're trying to do this week, Kelly's an option. But one of the things they're trying to do this week is give Kelly a break. So that they could be like, listen, we didn't put you on the block. We didn't want to put you on the block and we have you. And then hopefully pull her in. And Ashley, they're not really trusting her that much anyway. So it'd be like, we got to sacrifice somebody. It'd be them. And then they're also trying to pull in Catherine and Riley. And if you put one of them up on the block, you lose both of those votes. She's not going to put up Rachel. She's not going to put up Will. And she's not going to put up Mickey. So then, if she's not doing those three, she's not going to do Kelly. She's not going to do Catherine and Riley. She's already put up Lauren. Zach and Vince would both be safe. Morgan, let's say, won the veto. She's safe. Your only option is Ashley. So that would be kind of crazy too. And then similar thing happens there too, where let's say Lauren wins the veto, takes down Vince. Zach saves himself. Morgan would end up on the block. And then it could end up being in a situation like that. If Morgan or Lauren win, it would be the other one on the block with Keanu and Ashley. Which then, I don't know. I would think Keanu would have a good shot at the veto, unless it's like a puzzle. Morgan might have him out in that. Lauren might have him out in that. I don't 100% know on there. But even Ashley, like, she has a veto win under her belt. But Keanu might have a little bit of a shot at winning that blockbuster. We could end up with Morgan versus Ashley on the block. There's a lot of... That's what's kind of fun about this week as well. Because of the way Ava's going about this, and because of that 10K bribe, and the fact that it's secret. It's such a critical thing. Because nobody knows, this is going to be like a shocking moment. It's going to be a lot of fun with that. And it's going to end up with crazy nomination scenarios where there's what now? 1, 2, 3, or well, Zach wouldn't go. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that all like really could end up being like legitimate like people that could end up leaving this week. There's 5 because of the way all the different votes could technically go out and different people who could end up on the block. Ashley could go, Morgan could go, Lauren could go, Keanu could go, Vince could all go. Zach's like the only one who's pretty much safe, right? No matter what, at the end of the veto ceremony, he's coming off the block. But there could be 5 different people who could end up leaving this week, which is insane. That's insane. Let's see. Where are we at here? Could he use it after the blockbuster? No. I'm pretty sure how it works right after the veto ceremony's over, right? Like, you know, when they close the box, right? Or whatever, and like this veto ceremony is adjourned. I believe as soon as that happens, he goes, actually, hold on a second. Ava, here's 10K. Name a replacement. So he has to use it then. What was the HOH comp? It was the knockout competition. Where 2 people go up. Whoever wins, they pick the next 2. The person who gets it wrong is eliminated. The next 2 go up. Same thing. Whoever gets it wrong, eliminated. The person who wins picks the next 2, and so on, until you're left with the last person left. And a couple of notes about it. Rachel was targeted hard, which isn't really a surprise to me that she would be one of the ones put up there the most. Then it came down to Ava and Will, and Zach didn't even know how to play. Zach apparently thought it was like a bracket system, and he put up Will and Morgan, I think, first, maybe, or at least that's who he put up. And then Will and Ava ended up being the final 2, both trying to throw it to each other. Both trying to throw it. Riley does need to go. She said 5K was scraps. Oh, yeah, so they were talking about like how far you get, right? Like if you get to fifth place, they were saying it's like 5K like bonus or whatever, which if you guys don't know, there is like little bonuses, like if you finish like in different spots, right? Like it's how they say like first gets this and then second gets this, and then there's America's favorite player. There are like little bonuses, and plus you're making money from just being in the house and then in jury as well. But yeah, she was like, that's scraps. We don't want fifth. We're going all the way. Oh, thank you. Ava won it. Oh my God, you go, girl. Right. Crazy, Deb. It's crazy. I'm so over listening to Morgan on the feeds. Shelly says, I think Ava's nasty side's coming out. I thought it was kind of funny and entertaining. She was definitely hamming it up. You know what it reminded me of too? Because like I said, both Ava and Will, they pretty much polished off an entire bottle of wine. I don't know how many others got a glass of this bottle, but by the end of their conversation, the wine was done. That bottle was cooked, and she got it for her HOH. And what it kind of reminded me of, if there's any Game of Thrones fans, it was like Tyrion Lannister. Just always with that glass of wine. And even he has that great quote, I drink and I know things. That's what I do. I drink and I know things. And it was just the two of them talking about what they know, who they're going after, who was scared that Ava won HOH and all that stuff. It was a lot of fun. Who's that? We got Ashley. Is that Ashley coming on in, hitting that sub button? Ashley, guess what? You might not know this. You might not know this, Ashley. I know you've been in the shower for like 32 days. It's fine, Ashley. You got to be clean. I get it. But when you hit that subscribe button, me and you, we now have a final 2. Shh, it's a secret. It's a secret. I just go back in the shower and you can just chill. Don't even have to worry about it. But we're going to the end, Ashley. Me and you, we're going to the end. If you hear anything about other alliances, though, don't listen. Don't listen. It's not true. It's not true. Me and you, we're going to the final 2. Thank you so much for hitting that sub button. I like Ava, but not as much as I used to. I don't think Zach will use his power. I think he will keep the money. Well, Joe, if he's on the block, he's using his power. There's no way you don't use your power if you're on the block. There is not a chance. I mean, he could, right? Like, he could risk it and then go for the blockbuster, I guess. But I think if you're on the block, you use your power. You don't want to have that just sitting in your pocket. Yeah, you get 10K when you're evicted, but you're playing for 750K, right? You're playing there to stay. So I think he'll use it. I like Ava, but not as much as I used to. Slim pickings on the likables in the house. 2 weeks in the shower, just 2 whole weeks. I don't want Vince to go anywhere. And that's the thing, too. I like Vince. He's not playing perfect, right? But his play style of just like trying to be good with everybody, having conversations with everybody, he wasn't as slick and smooth as he needed to be, right? But it's a similar play style to, let's say, like Tyler on BB20. Similar play style to what Cody did on BB22. Who else was really just like good with everyone? Had just like a million alliances. I guess Paul a little bit, but that was different. But here's the thing. I like Vince, and I think his play style is fun, and I like when it succeeds. He got so clocked by Rachel so early, and like others were noticing, but I wonder how much of that was really pushed by Rachel in the long run. And it would have been interesting to see what Vince would have done in a house without Rachel, because Rachel was also pushing Zach a little bit too, and Zach got caught. So I wonder what it would have been like if Rachel wasn't there to really kind of clock that right away, because she's a vet. She sees that stuff. She sees right through it, as she should. Like anybody who's played with someone, you know, who does like the schmoozing and stuff like that, they know what they're looking for. So I wonder what it could have been. But I have to be honest with myself. Like, I feel like that's a similar play style as I would do. Like, I don't like, so it's like, that's what I would gun for. Listen, I would probably burn out and end up voted out very quickly. But I like that play style. Fit Tiff coming on in, hitting that sub button. Tiff, you might not know this. Me and you, we now have a final 2. Shh, don't tell anybody though. It's a secret. You hear anything else in chat, don't listen. But we're going with the final 2. Thank you for hitting that sub button. Do you think if Zach wins a regular veto, he could save Vinny and pull the 10K veto for Zach? Yes. Tasha, actually, that's a good point. He could very well do that. Right? Because one of the things that I was kind of talking about was like, unless Zach wins the veto, he's probably using his power. But there is a good reason there for him to save Zach or save Vince and then save himself. That could very well be a thing. That's an interesting thought. See, there's a lot of fun ways this could all go. And in that scenario, Morgan and Lauren would probably end up on the block. Crazy scenarios. He should use it. I agree, Laura. I agree. Riley is in love with the BB furniture. I'm on vacation in California, and this time difference is really messing with my big brother watching. Well, you're on their time now, Reed. You're on their time. You should be more in sync. Ohio John coming on in with the $5 super chat. Why are they so obsessed with that second vote? It was still 9-2 blowout eviction. 100%, right? Like the vote didn't matter, right? It didn't matter. But one of the reasons they're so like, hey, what's going on here is the idea that if it wasn't Ashley, who was it? But also, if it was Ashley, she told all of us she was voting Jimmy out. So if she told us she was voting Jimmy out and then last minute flipped her vote, why? And can we trust her moving forward? So in the long run, does it matter? No. But now it's starting to spin some webs. So we'll see how it plays out, especially if they really push that narrative that it was Keanu or Vince. It could be kind of fun how that goes. I'm so happy to see another week of Riley and Catherine. Can Zach use it on another player? Cara, I don't think so. As far as I know, he can only use it on himself. Norma, I agree with Joe. Happy birthday to your daughter. Yeah, happy birthday. Whose daughter? Oh, oh, yes. My daughter's 18th birthday. Glim Girls, happy birthday to your daughter. Listen, this is her birthday song. It isn't very long. Anyway, happy birthday. That is awesome. Happy birthday to her. There was someone else's birthday. Hold on. Let me look in the Discord. That's another thing, guys. Listen, if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord, because we also have a spot where you can post your birthdays. And we have a couple of birthdays. First off, Matt's birthday was yesterday. So we got to do a big happy birthday to Matt. But also, Tom. Tom from Discord. But also it's Tom from Facebook. But it's Tom from Discord. But it's Tom from Facebook. Like, it's Tom from Facebook. Well, no, it wasn't Facebook. It was MySpace. It's Tom from MySpace. Like, it's the MySpace Tom. But it's not. But he's on Discord. MySpace Tom, but on Discord. So he was on MySpace, but he's now on Discord. It's his birthday too. So big happy birthdays to them as well. I agree, Michael. But that's a dream. No way she would put. Yeah, she's not putting Rachel up. I don't think she's putting Rachel up. I think she really likes that final two with Rachel, but also knows that's just kind of like a thing she's saying, right? Like, it's not like a thing that I think Ava is really like pushing. It's more of like, well, at least I'm good with Rachel, right? At least we're good there. Where are we at here? I want Ashley to be found out. Let's see. Uh-oh. Joe's rude. Please stop singing. Wait, who was singing? Me? Oh yeah, I was singing the birthday song. Well, it's not very long. Joe, it's not very long. It's just the birthday song. It isn't very long. That's all. I really like Kelly to go this week. Kelly definitely grew on me. I hated her week one. Now I'm team Kelly. Zach is a boring player. So listen, I hear you. I 100% hear you. Yes, Zach is a boring player, but most good players are pretty boring, right? Like, if you're a really good player, a lot of times it's fairly boring, unless you're like next level good, right? Like, if you're on like the Derek level of good or the Dan level of good, then it's still exciting, where it's like even Derek, right? Where the overall season's boring. If you watch the live feeds and actually watch Derek work, that was entertaining, right? Like, watching him go into a conversation and completely change someone's mind with one convo, or get them to think that it was his idea, or get them to think his idea was their idea the whole time. He would do that always. There's so many cases of that. Those are exciting still, but Zach is playing a bit of a boring game, but it was a good game so far. He's just kind of getting caught up now with all the double speak that he's been saying because of everything that's kind of gone down. He was a little too open with Will, and then Will was able to confirm to Ashley, that actually he was planning on putting you up. So he's made a couple of errors there, but for a little bit there, everyone was obsessed with Zach, and they were loving him. So I think he was playing really well. It's just right now he's getting himself into some trouble. Bondo! At least Kelly and Keanu bring in some entertainment. Absolutely they are. Good morning, Nicholas. How are you? Catherine. I think Ava is the most boring sleeping, more than awake. You're on Big Brother. I really hope she gets it going now. Here's the thing, though. I actually think Ava's been playing one of the best games for a while now. In fact, I don't think she needed to win this HOH, but in the nature of a knockout, right? The people who are in a little bit better of a position actually end up going further. Like, I bet Ava barely went up for the knockout, right? Like, I think she was one of the last people that got her name said to go up and do a question. And that's kind of an indicator of how well she's doing in the game. If nobody's saying your name to go up there and you're one of the last ones, that means that most people, they didn't have a worry about you winning HOH because they're comfortable with you being the HOH. If you go up there a lot, that's like where they definitely don't want you to be an HOH because they don't trust you. So I think she was playing this really good game where like nobody ever was saying her name for nomination either. And I think this is one of those ones where she probably didn't need this HOH. And she knew that too. She was trying to throw it to Will. But she's ready to take some big shots here. Really big shots. True, probably no one tried. Exactly, Laura. I don't think like anyone was trying to get her out. They were all like, yeah, like Ava's fine. You know, we can just save her for later. Yes, Ava, as of now, her nominees would be Zach, Vince, and Keanu. But as we know, Zach has his 10K bribe, so that could lead to some really entertaining things here. And potential renoms bouncing between Morgan and Lauren. She said she really doesn't want to do Lauren, but I think she's leaning Lauren. On the other end, though, Will was actually really pushing Morgan. He was like, yo, it'd be epic if you put up Morgan as the renom. So we could see either one of them ending up on the block. But also, it could be both of them, as there's a chance that Zach and Vince both come off the block. If one of them wins the veto, Zach could use it on Vince, or Vince could just take himself off, and then Zach could take himself off, meaning that both Morgan and Lauren would go up. And then there's also potential that Morgan and Lauren, one of them wins the veto, takes Vince down, then Zach comes down, and then you might end up with Ashley. This could be a wild week. This could be a wild week of just nominee musical chairs. When the music stops, who's going to end up in a chair? Nobody knows. Did Morgan mess up allying with Vince? A little bit, Pierre. I think a little bit. And finally, Mickey kind of realized that too late to save Jimmy. But she kind of realized that Vince probably is a big problem. Ava is HOH. Guess it's a good week not to be paying attention. I can't stand her. Bondo, you're going to love her for this, though. She's keeping Kelly off the block. So we should be good there. Wow, Ori, what kind of coffee are you drinking? Just your normal. What is this? Is this I think this is the Wawa that I put in. I think this is the Wawa. I got a couple of bags. But I think I even have, I might have put it on the throne. I want to get some more Timmy Hortons. I've had Timmy Hortons coffee before, and man, it's good stuff. Get a little Timmy double, you know, a little double. But Wawa coffee is my go-to. Even if I don't have coffee at home, go to a Wawa, especially after an Eagles win. After an Eagles win, you go to Wawa, you get your free cup of coffee. What's better than free, huh? Let's see where we're at here. HOH can take it or leave it, was my take. So Donnie, no. As from what was stated, it is a one-way transaction where the HOH cannot refuse. So no matter what, if Zach decides to use his 10K, he's coming off the block. It's a one-way thing where if Zach says he's using it, tough on the HOH. They're getting 10K and they got to put somebody else on the block. Whoa, Lori, are you saying that Sheets is better than Wawa? Oh, we might be fighting. Lori. Guys. Hey, final twos. Anybody? How do you guys feel about Lori? How do you feel about, should we, maybe put him up the block? Oh, the Buckies. There goes your alliance. Tim's is the most popular coffee on the planet here. I'd get you one if you were nearby Nova Scotia. Hey, Kim's up in Nova Scotia. All right, eh? Don't like Ava. She showed her true self with the Keanu thing. It was very ugly. I don't think it was that bad. I think it was just a fun back and forth. I think Keanu had a good line, and I think Ava like stood up for herself. Did she need to? Probably not, but it was fun. I think back and forth. Nothing too crazy. We've seen worse. Trust me, we've seen worse. We saw worse in the HOH room this week. Never heard of Wawa. Oh, girl, you got to try it. You got to get yourself some Wawa. Wawa's starting to expand more. I think they were mainly like a PA Jersey kind of a thing. But I know they've got stuff in like all the way down into DC. They're in Maryland. They're also in Florida. I think there's some coming to the West Coast. I don't know where exactly, but I think there's some coming to the West Coast as well with Wawas. No Wawa in Honolulu. Joe, are you in Honolulu? That's awesome. That's awesome. Hope there was that scare with the tsunamis recently. That was the stuff I was hearing about most recently. And then Oprah opened her roads. How rich do you have to be that you have roads? Like, oh, sorry, my driveway's a full road. Where are we at here? Just a tad bit late. They are Norma. My dog is from Houston. Oh, Houston. I was disappointed if it's Keanu and Kelly on the block again. So ridiculousness. Ridiculous. No, Kelly is going to get a break. The plan right now is to keep Kelly off the block, and hopefully that kind of pulls them over to their side. Keanu probably does go on the block, but one of the things is like they don't want Keanu to leave. They want Keanu to beat Zach or Vince. The other thing is too, looking at the board here, right? Let's pull up our allegiance chart. This is kind of how I have it set up for right now. Let's say Keanu's up on the block still after the blockbuster. The plan right now is Keanu, Vince, and Zach. All right. Let's say it stays Keanu and Vince. Well, I think people are taking the shot at Vince. I think you would have Rachel take out Vince, Will take out Vince. Mickey, actually, oh, I just noticed I didn't switch the HOH thing too. Hold on. Oh, I can edit that. I can edit that. Hold on. Where are we at? Move that over to Ava. I knew there was something I didn't switch on there. So we got Rachel, Will, Mickey, Ashley would all vote out Vince. Catherine and Riley, I think they would also vote out Vince. I think they would potentially vote to keep Keanu over Vince, especially if Mickey's kind of pulling them that way. Kelly's a flip, right? I could see Kelly going either way. Morgan could go either way. But I think she would end up voting to keep Vince. But if she knows that he doesn't have the votes, right? Maybe she doesn't. Lauren would want to keep Vince. Zach would want to keep Vince. But then also, let's say it's not Vince. Let's say it's Lauren. Let's say it's Morgan. Those would be maybe where it's a little bit more interesting, where it's like, oh, maybe Morgan doesn't go, right, over Keanu. If it was Lauren, that one's close too, but also I think there's a chance that maybe they take that shot to break up the trio no matter what. Because one of the big things that Will wanted to accomplish this week is breaking up Lauren, Zach, and Vince, but also potentially Morgan too. So that could be also a possibility. He might be in most danger in those scenarios. But if it was Keanu, Vince, I think Keanu's safe. Now, there is a chance that Keanu could win the veto. He could be off the block. Zach and Vince both could be off the block if Vince wins the veto. So there's a lot of different scenarios there. But in a situation where Keanu's there with Vince, I think Keanu stays. Where the replacements come in, that's where it gets a little iffy, and I would be worried about Keanu. Keanu is like a bull in a china shop. Nick, that's a great way to describe him. It's not much of a bribe as a 10K. You know what? Bailout's probably a better word for it. So Zach did not have to use this. So Zach does not have to use the 10K bribe, and at what point does he use it at the nomination ceremony? So from my understanding, he doesn't have to use it, but if he did use it, it would be after the veto ceremony, right? So whoever wins veto, whether they choose to use it or not, if at the end of the veto ceremony, Zach's on the block, he can take himself off, give the 10K to the HOH, and then they would have to name a replacement nominee. And there's no choice, right? Like the HOH just has to take it, and they have to put somebody else on the block. So there's potential where with Keanu, Vince, and Zach, two of them could end up coming off the block with veto and then Zach's bribe. Morgan and Lauren would end up being replacement nominees. It could be wild. It could be a wild one. Oh yeah, Ava and Will, they definitely got a little tipsy. Full on drunk. Even Will was like, listen, I'm drunk. Take what I say with just a grain of salt. Can't wait to see her reaction when she's on the block. Normally I don't drink coffee, but I'll tell you, it sure does smell good. Oh yeah, a good cup of coffee when it's brewing. Smells so good. Keanu wins veto, manifest. Why is Riley in such a good position? So one of the things is they're trying to use them as a vote, because Mickey, Will, Ava, they're all trying to pull them on over. So as of right now, him and Catherine are kind of seen as like potential votes before targets. Their bigger targets right now are Vince and Zach, because they also see them as people who are winners. One of the other things is, too, as of right now, unless Catherine and Riley got there together, I don't see either one of them winning a jury vote. Now, I don't see anybody voting for Riley over almost anybody else. Maybe if it was Kelly and Riley, right? Some people might vote Riley. I think, honestly, here's a hot take. If Rachel wants to win, her best bet is to take Catherine or Riley. If Rachel wants to win this game, her best bet would be Catherine or Riley to the final two. Because I don't think anybody votes for them right now. Not one person. So that's one of the things where it's like they're kind of becoming a non-target just because of their lack of win equity, but also just the fact that like they can be a number. And it's not just one. If you get one, you get two. They're coming as a set. Now, they all know they got to break that up eventually. And it's not like they're trusting them long term. But they're in a decent spot right now. Carolina, maybe we know we'll get Ava and Will. Yes, maybe now we'll get Will and Ava chats 100%. And like I was saying, I was praying to the BB gods. I was like, please give us some Ava and Will one-on-ones. Now we're getting a whole week of it, hopefully. We're getting a whole week of those combos, which is fantastic. I was saying earlier to quote Drew McIntyre, I prayed for this to happen, and it did. With my fantastic Scottish accent. It was a perfect accent, right? You wouldn't know I wasn't Scottish. You wouldn't even know. It's going to be an area. I'm so excited for this week. I think we're getting some really good Big Brother stuff here. We're getting fun noms that are different and not the same people going up over and over. Like, yeah, Keanu's getting put up there, but that's kind of part of it, is like he's there more to beat Zach and Vince in a veto. Then we got some fun renom scenarios where it's like, did she put up someone she's close to like Lauren, or does she put up Morgan, which is a bigger shot? Then it could end up being both of them going up. It could end up even being where someone like Ashley has to go up. There's so many different ways it could end up going with the renom scenarios and veto and with this 10K bribe, which is also a true secret power. As far as we know, no one knows. The only hint that maybe someone has any clue that Zach has this power is just the other night, right? Like just before eviction, he was talking about potentially Jimmy having a power. And one of his reasonings was he was like, yeah, his like 10K, my 10K and his power to choose HOH didn't really feel equal. And I don't know if he was just saying that like just to say like, oh yeah, I got $10,000. All he got to choose was who won HOH. If he was saying it that way, it wasn't equal, because the other part of it is he got something other than the 10K. It wasn't just a 10K. So in Zach's mind, he actually was thinking there's a strong chance that Jimmy got something too. Right? Like if I technically got two things and one of them was a big secret, I wonder if Jimmy has something. So he was really worried about that. And he shared that with Vince. But I don't know if that was him actually saying like, oh yeah, I have the power or not, right? Because that was never said. Or I don't know if that was ever a thing that he shared with him previously. I don't think it has been, though. Zach's got a pretty good, done a pretty good job of keeping his mouth shut on it, as far as I'm aware. So we'll see how it all plays out, because one of the things I've always been asking for is like, hey, make it a rule that like the powers have to be kept secret, right? That you can't tell anybody. They definitely made it where most of the powers they gave out this season so far, it was very much in your disadvantage to share it. Because a lot of the powers, like Zach's, there's almost no reason to share his power. Because as soon as you share it, as soon as you tell anybody that, hey, if I'm on the block, the HOH gets $10,000, it doesn't become a bailout anymore. It doesn't become a bribe. What it becomes is a bounty. And then people would look at Zach as a $10,000 check walking around that they should put on the block. So it was really disincentivized to tell anybody about your secret. Same thing with Mickey's power. It was in her best interest not to tell anybody, because if it got around that she was the one with the power, then it wouldn't work and they would be able to guess who it was. She also then did have something kind of interesting here where she ended up telling other people and it helped her get the power in the end, because Ashley was able to kind of do it a bit of a con job. Rachel was able to push it as well. Morgan was able to push that Mickey didn't have it and that Ashley had it. So it did end up working out in her favor that she could share it. But yeah, it was really kind of one of those things where it did end up being more to your advantage to keep it secret. And that I think is also important. Because one of the things is maybe it's a little bit fun where somebody could potentially leak something that's bad on their end. But by adding that caveat that like, hey, if you tell anybody, it's actually going to probably make you go up on the block. Even Kelly's power and Keanu's power, both of them were really powers that it was like probably in your best interest not to tell people you had, because they were like for an extra shot at veto, which hopefully you wouldn't even need unless you're on the block, and you wouldn't use unless you're on the block, most likely, unless you really wanted to make sure you won a veto. So yeah, I think I like that idea that they have things that are connected to them that either make you like lose your power if you told the wrong person, or it backfires if you tell the wrong person. But I guess you could say that about a lot of powers. They would end up backfiring if you told somebody, which is then kind of bringing me back. I'm just bringing it back to they should have to keep it secret. I went on a long worry rant. We got on a tangent there. I don't even know. Wait, so is Kat the same age as Lauren? I think Catherine's a little older. I think just by a hair. All BB Twitter turned on Ava for like 2 days and then switched right back when she won last night. I bet they did. Does anyone else have a BB poll going for cash? Ooh, for cash. We do have our draft actually. It's not for cash, more for bragging rights. But it is all updated. I think. Let me see here. I think this command works. We'll test it out here. Okay, it came up in Kick. I think it works on the YouTube side as well. We'll see. But that is updated. And actually, you know what? We could take a look at it. I think if I do this. Hey, there we go. Here's our draft. We got I Am Random Person, who is in our top spot here with 34 points with their team of Ava, Keanu, and Mickey. Jessa in second place. Miles Mick in third place. And then actually a bit of a tie here actually for second. Bit of a tie there for second. And then a bunch of people tied for third. But yeah, look at me cracking the top 20. And look at that. My team of Keanu, Zach, and Vince coming on strong there. Okay. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Did that link show up in the YouTube? It did. There you go. So if you want to check your draft sheets, how you're doing, you can go on and take a look here at our boards. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Can you still get in and how? No, you can't get in. What we do is we do it pre the first episode, like so before the premiere. And then like during the premiere, I like shut it off as like maybe like 5 minutes into the premiere. But it's all done pre-season. Next year, we'll get you in there next year. How many we even got? We got a lot of people in here. There's like 250 in here right now on our draft. So a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Place it here. Am I tied for second? Yes. Place it here. You are tied for second. Yes. Good job. Let's see. We'll get rid of that. That one, I think. There we go. I love the noms are different. Me too, Laura. I like that we're going in like a new direction. Is Rachel basically running Ava's HOH? No. I mean, are they noms that Rachel would probably do as well? Yes. But these are Ava's noms. She's been talking about this even for a little while. She's been thinking about this. I think she's been thinking about this even when Lauren ended up putting Will up, because they had the bond, right? So the bond was Adrian, Will, Laura, Zach, Vince, right? Was that the 5? And Lauren ended up putting up Vince and Will, or Adrian and Will. And I think that's really when Will and Ava were like, all right, we're done. Like, they play it up a little bit, but I think they were like, Vince and Zach are problems. And then more and more, they started noticing it as well. That's the other thing, too. I wish we were getting more Will and Ava chats these past few weeks, because for a while now, they've been on the same page on a lot of stuff. We just haven't seen it really come to fruition. Now we're getting it big time. Who's that coming on in? We got Mike Tua coming on in, hitting that follow button over on Kick. I appreciate it. You big brother fan, Mike. We've been chatting about the live feeds here. We do daily live feed updates over on YouTube. Nah, it's just one of these. All right, we'll just get rid of that. We'll do that. There we go. Mickey is the closest to Ava, not Rachel. Telling you, Ori, I really believe Zach will save his power for another rainy day, thinking he's not the target this week. That's a risk, though, man. I don't know. I mean, you're not wrong, right? Like, I think if the only problem is, I think Zach stays over Vince. But I don't know if Zach stays over anybody else. Like, if Vince comes off the block, I think Zach ends up going over Keanu as well, right? Like, I think Keanu's safe in that situation. I think that's how that would turn out. Which maybe he does, right? Maybe he does save it. I just think he would use it. I think he would use it. Rachel is forcing little Ava to nominate Keanu, who Ava doesn't want to go. Well, no, so that's the thing. They don't want him to go, but Ava has legitimate reasons to nominate Keanu, and she doesn't want to nominate Lauren, who she likes. She doesn't want to nominate Catherine and Riley because they plan on using them for votes. She doesn't want to nominate Kelly either. And she's not just going to put Morgan up right away, although they thought about it. And Keanu's kind of like the best option because he also ends up beating Vince and Zach. Like, anybody who's telling you that Rachel's running it, no. No. Let's see. People in acting like Ava is an idiot. She's clumsy. 100%, right? Like Ava, I think, has been playing the best game for a little while now. And the big thing is the episodes aren't showing it well. And even I don't think the feeds are showing it well. But if you just look at the standing she's in the game, no one ever brought her name up, ever. Not even as a pawn. Nothing. The only time Ava's name came up as an option, it wasn't even actually Ava. It was only as a code word for Rachel. So I think Ava's been playing a phenomenal game so far. My big worry with her, though, was you can end up in a situation where if you're just kind of coasting along and playing a good game, people end up seeing you as like you're doing nothing, right? People could end up seeing you as like just somebody who's just there and they don't respect your game. They might really like you and they might even love you, but they might just think like you were just dragged along. And there always is a chance, right? Like if you get all the way to the end and just because everybody liked you, a lot of times they're going to vote for you if they like you. But if you're up there with somebody else they also kind of like, if they don't think you maybe played the best game, that's where the difference can be made. So I did have that worry that maybe they wouldn't actually respect her game. But now she's making a huge move this week, no matter what. Even if, Zach or Vince don't go, like she's doing a bombshell move here. And I still think moving forward, I don't think she'd be a big target. I think there's still other big targets where even though she's making this big move, she'd end up on the block with people that would go before her. So I think she's making some fun moves this week. I think it's going to be interesting. Let's see. People are worried that Ava wouldn't take shots or make moves. This proves that she isn't a T-core 100%. Ava might be a +1 at the cookout. It's amazing Rachel hasn't been put on the block yet. Everyone is scared of her. Here's another thing I kind of thought of too. If you really think about it, for the most part, other than Zay, they've kind of been trying to take some shots at people who are close to Rachel, right? A lot of the people who were ending up on the block were people that were seen close to Rachel. Like Adrian went too, but that was also just a complete miscue from Lauren. But it really does feel like a lot of times Amy went, Ashley was always kind of somebody that's name's been floating around. Jimmy now goes. It ends up weakening her. And one of the things I always say is, don't let the vets cook. If you let the vets cook, they're going to build numbers. And one of the things they're kind of doing, though, and it probably works out pretty well for them, is they don't believe in Rachel's ability to win a comp. But they did think that Jimmy could win a comp. And they also didn't trust Jimmy that much because of all the stuff he's been saying around the house. And even when his HOH was going on, he wasn't listening to them and didn't take their opinions into consideration, they felt like. So it all ended up being like, yeah, you know what? If he's more with Rachel and he can win comps, maybe we should take him on out. And it ends up weakening Rachel. So then later you can just be like, all right, we can worry about Rachel later. So in a way, they are kind of doing the right thing here. I still think Jimmy was a bad choice overall. But they are doing something that I say you should do, is don't let the vet cook. And if you can weaken Rachel's position in the game, I think that's overall a good thing. What was the comp? It was knockout. So basically how knockout works, the first two people go up. Whoever gets it wrong is eliminated from that round or the game. And then whoever gets it right gets to choose the next two to go on up. and then so on and so on until you get to the final person standing. They end up being the HOH. Zach apparently didn't know how it worked and put Morgan and Will up because he thought it was like a bracket situation. Will and Ava ended up going all the way to the end. Neither of them wanted to win it and were trying to throw it to each other. And then Rachel went up multiple times. Like, they just kept throwing her up there for the question, hoping that she would get eliminated, which she eventually did. Ava will become the new target for the other side after this week. I don't know if she will, though. I'm not 100% sure she will. Like, yeah, Zach probably has a good reason to put her on up, right? But the thing is, I don't think a lot of people would stay over Ava if they ended up on the block, even after all this happens. Because if she ended up there on the block with, let's say, Mickey, that might be like a tough one for Will. I think Rachel would side with Ava. Ashley probably would go with Mickey. Lauren would go with Ava. And that's like worst case scenario I'm thinking for Ava is up against like Mickey. I think with everybody else, I think she would have a really good shot at staying. I think Mickey would, like, if it was Ava versus Mickey later on, I think then, like, all right, Ava might have to worry a little bit about votes. But otherwise, I think a lot of people she would stay against. Especially if they're able to pull in Catherine and Riley as numbers. That's a big key factor in it, too. I don't know 100% how great that's going to work, but we'll see. The only person I could see genuinely target Ava is Riley. And that would, right? Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, is only as a pawn. Like, even after this happens, right? Like, I still think they would be like, all right, well, she'll go up, but we still need to get, like, Rachel out. Like, Rachel's the one we really need to go. Keanu, Vincent, Morgan, this girl is smart. Well, the thing is, she's going with Zach first, but it probably would end up being either Morgan or Lauren as the renom if Zach takes himself off with his bribe. Could be Lauren as well, especially if two people come down. It would be Morgan and Lauren both ending up there. There's a lot of ways it can go. And then if Morgan and Lauren, if one of them were in the veto, you could even see Ashley go up there. So much fun. Wait until after HOH to say that. It will go to her head. You agree with Lisa? Ava's cat is so cute. Rachel is adapting 100%. And that's the thing too, right? Big Brother's all about adapting. It's who can adapt the best. I've heard multiple people complain about Ava leaving her dirty socks around the house. One reason to get rid of her. Keanu and Kelly for final two. Let's go. Keanu is always wrong though. Who would he nom? The last I had heard from Keanu was I think he would still do shots at, because he said different things to different people, and I don't know if he would actually put up Mickey and Morgan anymore. I think he was really trying to end up working with them. He has a thing with Riley. He would definitely put up Ashley. Ashley for sure for Keanu would 100% be on the block. Other than that, it would start to get a little sketchy. Like, at first, like, you would think maybe Will, but him and Will had a really good talk. Maybe Lauren could end up there. That would be... Keanu would have been another interesting one to see exactly how his HOH would have went. Because he could have went a lot of different ways. He also started to have distrust with Zach and Vince. So there would have even been chances that maybe he took that shot as well. Zach and Keanu were talking in the bathroom the other late morning, and they were wanting Ava out. There was talk about Ava, but I still don't think it would be right away, right? And the thing is too, right? Ashley would still be first on the list. Like, even if they were like, hey, Ava should probably go, they still want Ashley out first because neither of them want Ashley around. When Ori gets told to remove the shower from Ashley's head, he keeps it on for another few weeks. That is true, Zero. That is true. These guys are dropping like flies. They kind of are, Laura. where we got 3 guys all evicted, only one of the ladies with Amy. And we started with more ladies than men. There were more ladies in the house. All the guys are out of here. Ashley probably takes 10 showers a day. The other thing is too with her, right? And this is why it also probably deserves to stay on. And it happens in Big Brother, right? Like people are taking showers and they have conversations and there's game talks and stuff. Feels like Ashley does it a lot more than others. It feels like a lot of Ashley's game talks happen in the bathroom or in the shower. Like there's many times where like someone's trying to take a shower. They're you know, full on like in the nude in the shower, right? They're doing their business, just subbing up. So, you know, putting that soap ball up in their face. They're covering their face with suds. And Ashley's just like, "So what do you think?" who you know, I heard. So it's like she's just very connected with showers. Ashley, it is a thing. But now also, apparently, she can't even get out of the shower long enough to make sure she's voting correctly, and then goes and hold on, let me go back on in the shower. Let me go back in and change my vote. Can I take a shower before I say my vote? Because I have to make some decisions. Ashley the mermaid. Okay, y'all, I just woke up. Who won HOH? Brent. Ava won HOH. And she's looking at putting up Vince, Keanu, and Zach. And remember, Zach has his 10K, so he can actually come off the block if he's still up there after veto. Potential renoms, Lauren and Morgan were both thrown out. They were very excited about Morgan going up, actually. If they really want to take big shots, Will was very excited if Morgan were to go up. He called it epic. So those could be options. And then Ashley's name's been thrown out, but they want to keep her off for now. But with the whole 10K, there's potential that 2 people come off the block, and one of those renoms in Morgan and Lauren could be a veto winner, taking one of the people off. So there's a chance that Ashley would even go up as an option as well. This week's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Just coming on, they know she flipped the vote. So Laura, that's another thing. They actually have a little bit of doubt. And I don't know 100% if Mickey and Rachel actually know or not, or they're just spinning the lies. But as far as I'm aware, Will's the only one who knows 100%. Like, Will knows. But one of the things they're kind of doing is saying that it could have been Keanu and Vince. And there's a lot of questions like, who do you think the second vote was? Who's this and that? So I don't know if she told Mickey and they're just spinning webs. I don't know if she actually told Rachel, but because it seems like she didn't. It seems like she's lying and saying it wasn't her. Here's another possibility. And I don't know if anybody said this yet. There's a possibility she thinks she did change her vote. Because I don't think she heard Julie. Because she went in there and she was like, I want to vote. Actually, I want to vote Jimmy. My vote is for Jimmy. Right? And Julie was like, no. But there's a chance that Ashley left there thinking she changed her vote. Because there's a chance she didn't hear Julie. So maybe she's not even lying. Maybe she thinks... This like just hit me. That maybe she thinks she actually changed her vote and she doesn't know. Right, Scott? Like, I didn't think of it until like kind of just now. But there's a less than 0 chance that she thinks she changed it and it actually wasn't her. I was dying with laughter when Ashley went back in. Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. Oh my God, I've only seen the one. the second shower episode, but then everyone was pissed because she would fill up the Brita and put it empty back in the fridge. Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. Excuse me, Your Honor, I vote for Jimmy. Can't see people hiring Ashley to represent them. I think you want a new lawyer. She definitely didn't hear Julie, right? So there's a chance she thinks that maybe it wasn't her. I actually can believe she's a lawyer, and that's not a compliment. Who's that? We got Millicenta Sante. I think that's what it is. Thank you for coming on in, hitting that follow over on Twitch. I appreciate it. I love that they showed us Ashley talking to the screen. I know. She was like, Linda, excuse me, I want to, can I change my vote to Jimmy? It was like she was ordering at the drive-thru, and she was like, actually, I'm sorry, can I change my order, please? Can I get that actually with no pickles? No pickles or onions, please. What a crazy situation. That is just, I can't believe she went back in there. I just can't believe she went back in. Yeah, Ashley as an attorney. My client pleads guilty, Your Honor. No, wait, I mean not guilty. Change it. We want to flip. We want to flip it. Julie was fuming. Ashley should do Little Mermaid 2. Ashley will show up late for court. Sorry, Your Honor, I was taking a shower. Can I see the allegiance board? Sure. Hold on. Here's where we have it at the moment. I feel like Morgan's kind of found herself in the middle, but could see a shot ended up taking at her. Kelly, Catherine, and Riley are all kind of seen as like potential votes, like people you can pull over to your side. Keanu also kind of floating there in the middle a little bit, where he's probably going to end up on the block, but definitely kind of more leaning to the other side. And you can kind of see how the house is split at the moment. Who was that? We got Spice Girl. What's up, Spice Girl? How you doing? Then we got Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket coming on in. Thank you so much for hitting that follow button over on Twitch. I appreciate it. And then we also got Emily's prison tattoo coming on in, hitting that sub button over on YouTube. Guess what? Actually, you might not know this, but when you hit that sub button, me and you, Emily, we now have a final two. Don't tell anybody. It's a secret. If you hear anything about any alliances, don't believe it. Don't believe it. Ashley just needs to find a husband. I'm glad at least hopefully get some new noms. Yeah, Keanu, but not Will and Kelly. 100% Laura. It's gonna be fun having that. They definitely pulled a page out of Survivor Tribal Council vote nomination. Rachel jumping around everyone. I want to see that happening more. It was kind of fun. And then who's that? We got a Parkster Gamer coming on in, hitting that follow on Twitch. I appreciate it. We are live on YouTube, Kick, and Twitch. Kind of pick where you like to watch. No issues there. And then everybody kind of joins the chat right down there, so we all stay connected. Or it was 17K. Whoa, DeAndre. Somehow Vince is still worse. That's true. Tell your friends to subscribe. Also, we're trying to get Ori his first plaque. We got a long ways to go. We got a long way to go there, but kind of fun. Stop putting literal spoilers in your thumbnail. Well, I did this week. I haven't done it before, but I did this week. And also, I mean, like, come on, it was pretty much everywhere. We tell you right in the beginning anyway. You're coming here to find out. If anything, putting the spoiler in there, it ends up being where it's like, oh, I don't need to watch the video. Would you consider Keanu a veto legend if he goes up and wins again? Absolutely. He's already the veto king. But yeah, if he won again, that'd be nuts. Or I know you probably already said something, but how wild was it? Oh, it was crazy. Absolutely crazy. And there's lots of like lies going on now where potentially they're trying to blame that vote on Keanu and Vince. And we're not sure if she even knows she flipped her vote or if they're lying about it. So that's kind of a fun little side story. That Topaz vote was painful. Lucky Ashley wasn't a tiebreaker or anything. That would be the best if she actually thinks she could change her vote. It's not like there's an HOH key by her name, right? Like, it's not like there's an HOH key by her name or anything. Julie couldn't believe her eyes last night. I don't think any of us could believe our eyes. That was insane. That was insane. Keanu don't know squat about the game. When Ava was pissed off at Keanu at the last veto episode, and she did a shrug thing where she looked at the side. She looked like a Creek Muse. I love her. Will knows. Will's like the only one that I know knows 100%. But maybe not. Like, because then even, right, like if Ashley says, well, because the thing is, Will saw her go back in. Will wouldn't know that they didn't accept it. So Will knows she went back in. So if she says like, oh no, it wasn't me, I went in and changed my vote, Will could actually have said, well, she did go back in. Right? Like, so technically this could add to the lie. Well, I mean, she did come out and say she's going back in and then went back into the so yeah, right? Like, Will doesn't know if it counted. I don't know if any of them know it counted. This whole thing gets crazier the more you think about it. It'd be fun to watch Taylor or Derek's show tonight. So they're doing the BB Unlocked tonight. We'll see like Rachel get gooed. We'll see the special guest, which definitely is not me. Definitely not me. The house gets to rehearse the voting process. Talking in the hallway is a 100% car, right? Like they're not supposed to be talking. Like it's part of the rules. But Rachel took advantage and did it anyway. They all know she voted for. No, Joe. No. So the big thing was last night is they're actually asking that question. People are going to assume Rachel or assume that it was Ashley and Rachel. But Mickey's kind of going around saying, well, Ashley's saying it's not her. Rachel's going around saying, well, Ashley's saying it's not her. So they're kind of trying to switch it up and make people think that Keanu or Vince did it. And here's the other kicker, right? She has Will that can say, well, she did go back in and switch. So unless BB says, listen, guys, no, the switch didn't count, they wouldn't know for sure if it counted or not that she switched. So either they're just going to lie about it and try and push that it's Keanu or Vince, or there's also the chance they just think that she switched and it didn't count and that it was somebody else. What a crazy, crazy scenario. Well, that's the thing. Do we know if Will heard or not? I'd have to go back and look because Will was shaking his head, but I think Will was just shaking his head like, what am I watching right now? Right? Like that was just, I think that could have been Will just reacting to Ashley being out of her mind, going back into the room like, Ashley, what did you do? So we don't actually know if she heard the no for sure. Because sometimes that button doesn't work. So we're not 100% sure on that. Once Survivor allowed everyone to go from groups and chat, when they went to vote. Now they do it almost every time at Tribal, right, Donnie? Like it happens almost all the time. But in BB, it's always kind of been a thing because the other part of it is it's a live show. So what they want to do is like, hey, listen, we can't have you guys taking up half an hour trying to figure out who's voting. when we start the vote, we need you to start the vote. So there's no time to have these conversations. I would imagine they probably would have even gotten a talking to about it afterwards, being like, listen, you can't do that again. So I would think it's something that you could never have in BB unless they allocate the time for it, because it's a live show. They can't go just forever. With Survivor, they could let them almost go all night, right? Like as long as there's light and the cameras are rolling, they can edit that down, right? They could go for 2 hours at a tribal and they could edit that down to 15 minutes. Whereas they don't have that luxury with Big Brother. So I would imagine they got a good talking to. Well, see, again, baby boy, you say, yes, Ori will hurt Julie. How do you know for sure? Will's reaction came, but again, how do you know for sure? Because like I said, Will's reaction could still have just been to Ashley going in there, right? You think Will's just going to stand there stone face as Ashley's... He's going to be shocked that Ashley's running on in there, changing her vote, running around. He's going to be like, this girl, she's nuts, right? So we don't actually know for sure until we hear it from Will that he's like, yeah, I heard Julie say no, no, no. And I haven't heard him say that. Now, if we hear him say to other people, oh yeah, Ashley, voted wrong, that she went in, tried to switch it. But as of yet, I have not heard him say that. Is this the first time in BB US history that someone went back in to change their vote? Yes. No one has ever gone back into the diary room and been like, wait, hold on, I want to vote for this person. The only two like examples of like weird stuff like this happening that I can think of was on Celebrity Big Brother. Meta World Peace. He wanted to keep his ally Chuck in the game, so he said, I vote for Chuck. And then later, when they were like, yeah, I voted for Chuck to stay. They were like, wait, you said you voted for Chuck? He's like, yeah, that means you voted him out. And he was like, oh. So that's like one like weird, like for sure, like this person voted wrong, but he didn't try and switch it. He just voted wrong. And then we also had one where in Big Brother Canada, for the winner, there was this girl named Topaz, and she wanted to vote for her friend, but she voted for somebody else. Because instead of voting for the winner, she was voting for her to evict still. And then when they read her vote, she was like, wait a minute. She like stood up. She was like, hold on. That's not right. And they had to stop. Dan Giesling was there. Like Dan Giesling was sitting in the front row, had to go over and talk to Topaz. Like Dan had to go be like, they're gonna figure it out. I was so glad she did that, and Gary did not win. Even Celeb BB wasn't as sloppy as this season. Do you think the house guests will be lectured about it? It's possible. Or at the very least, I would imagine Rachel, Will, and Ashley are going to get a talking to about not talking during the vote. But they're definitely not supposed to. They're not supposed to do it. Let's see where we at here. I just have them vote during the commercial, and Julie can read them. Sick of the shout outs. I'm kind of with you, Kara. It is one of the things too, like I get it, right? It's not for the fans, it's for like the players in there. And it's like you also have all day on the feeds to do any shout out you want. Your family can go on there and they could be watching, right? Like set up a time. Hey, every night I'm going to be in the backyard. I'm going to say what's up to you. Because usually, right, if you're up late, you can get the camera to yourself and you can do that. But yeah, otherwise it's for people like their family and stuff like that. But man, it just drags. Especially like, listen, if you go on in there and you're snappy with it, like, yo, I vote to evict Jimmy. Thanks, mom and dad, and you're out. Right? Like if you're in there, it's like, yo, shout out to my brother, and you're out. Cool. But it's the, I vote to evict Jimmy and my brother and my sister, and my mom and my cousin and my sister, and they're thanking a million people as they're walking out the door, trying to get every single person in there. It's a lot. It's a lot. Said they relaxed. Well, that's the thing, though, Mike, right? They haven't. Like, every so often it happens during a double, and that's always been the situation. But the rule has always been there's no talking allowed as once the vote commences, right? So it is still part of it. And they're told that they're not supposed to, right? They do the practice for the vote. And that's why, like, they have, like, those weird dances that they do, because they run everything through. When they shut down the feeds, they do, like, a run-through on the show for the vote. That's why they know the voting order as well. Like, the voting order isn't random. They give them the voting order and how they're going to go in there. Which, by the way, if you ever play, pay attention to that stuff. Because you guys know from watching the show, they always set up the vote to kind of set up what a split would look like, right? So you can kind of figure out who those swing votes were if you pay attention to, hey, they probably would want this to be as tied as long as possible. So you can almost imagine, like, oh, if I know this person's a lock to vote that way, what are they alternating? Who's voting where? And you can get a little bit of an idea. Sometimes they switch it up where, like, 4 will go one way and 4 will go the other. But you can always pay attention to the end and know, like, hey, if it's a split vote, somebody at the end there, one of those last 2 people, they're part of the flip. Because I thought so-and-so was voting for this person and they were the last one in there. I bet they were the swing vote. Especially if it's like a tie vote or it's a one person vote. Pay attention to the vote order if you're ever in there. Because that's what they do for the TV drama. The producers have an idea on who people are going to vote for. So they're going to set it up that way. But they're not supposed to talk about it because the big thing, it's not even like necessarily even a game thing. It's more because it's a live TV show. Like we were saying with Survivor, they could go for 2 hours at Final Tribal. They can condense it and edit it down to 15 minutes. But because it's a live television show, you can't just have them taking forever talking about what they're going to do and flipping here and there last minute. Because you only have till the end of the hour to get that episode out. It's not even like WWE. Like sometimes they get an extra 5-minute runoff. If anything, they get less time because 60-minute cuts into them. Like it is not something that you can kind of play around with. Because in live TV, right, and like network broadcasting, time is money, right? Every second they waste, that's like an advertisement or extra thing that they went over. Like they can't mess that stuff up. So that's why it's even a rule in the first place. It's not even necessarily they don't want them always talking about the vote. They just can't. Who'd we have coming on in there? It was Sazito Fu coming on in, following over on Twitch. I appreciate it. The game is away from the family. No contact. So the message to the family is a form of contact. Make them stop. That's a good point, Laura. That's a good point. They chat. But I feel like just in the last 2 Survivors, they started pulling people aside. Like even if they're going up to vote, I'd love to see that more. They should actually set out a time for a tribal that before the vote happens of showing up showman's updates. Tribal council. It was cringe though. Zach said it for Mickey. What was that? I missed something. Let's see. Where were we? Totally lost where I was in chat. But yeah, should be a wild week. It should be a wild week. That's clever of Ashley to change it and convince herself she did not vote for Kelly. Believe it or not, it helps her to have a clear conscience because technically she did not lie. If you believe it, not a lie. George Costanza gave me that advice. And it's true. If you believe it, it's not a lie. Kelly and Tucker for Challenge 42. I wish Julie would get in there more and ask the Housecast questions. Usually we'll get that like a little bit later when they have like less to really talk about on those Thursday nights, and she'll kind of start asking them some more questions. I used to miss when they would do like that interview with the HOH, and they would kind of like talk to them. I always thought those could be interesting. Very cringe. I rolled my eyes immediately when Zach said that, but at least I know the context behind it. Like a good lawyer. Like a good lawyer. Ashley's in the shower. Oh yeah, Zach did a shout out for Mickey in the DR. He's like Mickey for some reason. King Cloud here for that challenge season. Honestly, I want Keanu on the challenge. Keanu should be a lock. If the challenge producers don't already have Keanu's name written down for a season, they're missing out. They are missing out. He's built for the challenge. He'd be perfect. He's like the perfect bit of like messy gameplay, but like really good at comps. So like he would be like down in the sand all the time. He should be a lock. If they do shout out to Survivor, they would take away their rice. Learned it from... Absolutely, Lisa. Listen, sometimes George Costanza's got some good life lessons. It's the summer of George. It's the summer of Ori is what it is. We're gonna... If it's a lie and you believe it, it's all true. You know what, guys? We're gonna start a new lie. I am the best BB live feed updater on YouTube. Remember, it's not a lie if you believe it. And I believe it now. Ashley spills the truth all day long and nobody listens, and the one lie she tells is trusted and ran with. You can't make this up. That's the thing, Kyle. We're not even sure it's a lie. She might not know. Like, you have to imagine she knows it didn't count when she heard the vote results. But there's like a sliver. There's a less than 0 chance she did not hear Julie. there's not a less than, but a non-zero chance that she might not have heard Julie and thinks that she flipped it and somebody else was the inky vote. And that to me is my ultimate, like, a hopeful moment, is that she thinks that she flipped her vote. If she really thinks she flipped it, oh my goodness, that would be amazing. It would be so amazing. Kyle's more sellable, so she too dorky, and is the only one player for the season, maybe 2. Oh, Kelly is more sellable. She's too dorky. I think she'd be okay. I think she'd do all right on the challenge. I think she'd be fun. Actually, seriously, unserious, and I'm here for it. Keanu would kill the challenge, but mentally dropping the Costanza reference. Chef kick. Oh. Ava HOH, let's go. Crystal joining the Oreos, becoming a member of the channel. Crystal, thank you so much. If you guys don't know, you can join the channel as well. You become an official member of the Oreos. You get a couple of things. First off, your name is green in chat. And when your name's green in chat, I will say it does make it stand out more. It does make it stand out more in the chat. You also get some cool emotes and stuff like that. It helps to support. And while we're talking about it, other than just thanking Crystal, if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, if you're having a fun time, hit that like button. You guys have no idea how much just smashing that like button helps the channel grow and just all the videos and the streams. It really lets YouTube know that like people are having a good time here. If you're on Kick and Twitch, you can hit that follow button as well. And we got other stuff you can check out. All of my other socials. We've got stuff like Twitter. We've got the Discord. The Discord's awesome. And actually, one of the things I do have set up as well, I think it's working. I'm not 100%. We got to double check this. But if you're a member of the channel and you're in the Discord and you have your Discord and YouTube connected, I believe you see a channel in the Discord called Member Waiting. And you can hop in that channel. Potentially, we could do like call-in shows, right? Like it could be like a morning radio show where people like call in. We can have you like join the Discord and you could be on. We can have like a conversation about what's happening. So like that's a thing as well. Other things, there's stuff like the Ori Fund. Listen, the Ori Fund helps support Oris everywhere. It's probably the most direct way to support the channel as well. Always appreciated, but never required. Tasha! Tasha coming on in, joining the Oreos. Tasha, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. New member to the channel, Tasha. And then I think we also had Roseanne. Roseanne. Is it Rosanna? It might be Rosanna. I think it's Roseanne. I'm saying it wrong and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But you might not know this. When you hit that sub button, me and you, we now have a Final 2. Shh, it's a secret. Don't tell anybody. And if you hear anything about other Final 2s, don't worry about it. It's not true. Me and you, we're going to the end. We're going to the end. Let's see where we're at. The HOH interviews were so good. Laura over there celebrating. Yes, you are. Listen, Laura, if I believe it, it's not a lie. Yeah, look at all the new members. Look at that. Where are we at here? They're all still asleep. Yeah, they're all still asleep, and they'll be asleep for a little bit. Little Ava is just a typical New Yorker. We are all a little bit of a jerk. That's how we survive this jungle. Hit the like. I just realized I hadn't hit it today. Yeah, hit that like button. Roseanne Barr? I don't think so. Look at the new members. Just got here. Who won HOH? Ava. Ava won HOH, and her noms are looking crazy. We're looking at Keanu, which kind of stinks, but also Vince and Zach. And then Zach, he has his 10K. He can come off the block. Potential renoms would be Lauren and Morgan. And like, I gotta say, like, I cannot stress this enough. Will and Ava were like giddy over the idea of Morgan going up because it would be epic. But I don't know if she's gonna do that. I don't know if she's gonna do that. Little Ava equals Rodeo Donald 2.0. Guess I'm gonna. You're all on a. Yes. Listen, you're all Oreos, but when you become a member, it's like an extra. And you're an Oreo that got dunked. You're getting dunked if you're a member. But everybody here, you're all my Oreos. I had autocorrect. It's out of control. I don't think Catherine is into Riley. That house is really pushing it. So one of the things was, Tasha, I wasn't sure how she was feeling, but we did get a diary room the other day, and it seemed like she was like, hey, his persistency is starting to maybe break me down a little bit and get to me, and I think maybe I may be getting some feelings. So I mean, I'm not saying this is the right takeaway. I want to be very clear. I don't think this. Ori does not support this message, but it sounds like the message Big Brother's trying to send, that if they say no, if you just keep asking. Which is not. Eventually they'll say it. Like, they shouldn't. Like, I don't think that's the right message. I don't think that's the right message to send. But that might be. It might be the story we're looking at. Where are we at here? BRB, my son's having issues with Roblox. Oh no, is he playing the Big Brother Roblox? Is he on the block? Is he getting nominated? Tell him to make some deals. Make some deals. Who's Cheech and who's Chong? I don't know. Well, actually, Vince would be Cheech, right? Or wait, which one was which? Yeah. Vince would be Cheech, 100%, because he's got the beanie and the mustache. Like, he's the closest. For sure. that would 100% be who Vince would be. But he's also, here's what we also said before. Here's what I think Vince's real doppelganger is. We said this on one of the streams the other day. It's Sonny Bono. Vince is like a 1-for-1 of Sonny Bono. It is clear as day. Dawn, good morning. You are late to the party, but it's a fun one. It's a fun one. It was a wine-filled night. It was a wine-filled night. Dina the Explorer. How are you, Dina? How you doing? If you guys don't know Dina, make sure you check her out. She's got a great channel. Dina the Explorer. She's awesome. And then is that Bondo? Bondo! Hooking up 10 gifted members. Bondo! I can't do the whole one, but we can do a little Rocky. We can do a little Rocky. We can do the horns. I can do that much. Bondo! You maniac! Yo, if you just got hooked up by Bondo with a gifted membership to the channel, make sure you say thank you. Bondo, you absolute legend, coming on in. Hooking everybody up there. A bunch of you getting hooked up by Bondo. 6:50 a.m. here, and so glad I decided to not go back to sleep. This is great. JS, welcome on in. Hope you're having a good morning. I'm late. What happened after Jimmy left? Oh, Crystal, let me tell you. Ava HOH, she is making big moves. She's looking at Zach, Vince, and Keanu up on the block. Keanu is like, yeah, it's going again. But Keanu's more there to beat Vince and Zach in the veto. And then replacement nominees could be Morgan and Lauren. But then Zach has his 10K. So potentially Vince and Zach come off the block. And Morgan and Lauren both end up on the block. Or one of them could win the veto. And then the third option would be like someone like Ashley going up on the block. This could be a wild week. Absolutely wild week. Yeah, so fun. This week's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. 10 shots from work. Bondo, you're so awesome. He is. Bondo's amazing. Bondo, you're absolute maniac. Ava's keeping the HOH room to herself. She is. Her and Will finished like almost a bottle of wine to themselves. I don't know if anybody else actually got a glass of wine, but by the end of Will and Ava's conversation in the HOH, she polished off that bottle of wine. They were done. And Will was like, listen, when I win HOH, I'm asking for 2 bottles. And Ava's like, you better, you're a grown man. Oh, he went to take a shower. She could hang out with the others, but sat there and watched him shower. Oh, Catherine follows him around. Right, like that's the thing. Like I think Catherine's starting to catch feelings. I think he's starting to wear her down. And again, Laura, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right message we want to be sending. Because basically what they're saying is, listen, fellas, if she says no, just keep asking. And I don't know if that's the right message. I don't support that. I don't support that. That is not an Uri supported message. BB's kind of pushing it though. I'm just saying. Yes, Norma, thank you so much for letting everybody know. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hopefully a fun week. I was afraid Will would fall down the steps. Oh my goodness, right? He was very drunk. Excited to see different noms. Me too. This chat loves loves like Riley loves Catherine. Kay is the stalker, not the other way around. No, next year, no super fans. Plot twist. Oh, small pond. Was fun to see Will having a great time. It was, and again, I was begging for the Will and Ava conversations, like the one-on-ones, because it was like, I know they're having them. But we never get to see them. And I kind of manifested that. What did I say that? In like the last like 3 updates, I was like, man, I wish we would get some Ava and Will one-on-ones. I wish we would get more of them. It's like, hey, BB, like, let us see what's going on. Because like, it was like the one blind spot where it's like, they always ended up on the same page. But I didn't know if that was just coincidences. I didn't think it was. And we never really got to see them talk. And I was wondering if they were just like super quick touch-ins. But it just felt like they were always like, had the same mindset on things, right? Like when Will was against Ashley, Ava's against Ashley. And when Will's with Mickey, Ava was with Mickey. And it just felt like they were instantly on the same page. But we never got to see like, do they actually feel this way? Or do they just kind of mirror who's in the room with them? And it was really nice to actually finally get a good one-on-one with them. Because I think that's one of like the most trusted duos that we have in the house. I think Will really trusts Ava, and I think Ava really trusts Will. I think everything else they do is really just kind of them working the game. Like one of the things I had heard, right, that Will had said that I don't love, right, because it's like one of those things where it's like, I get it, but let's just go for like, you know, who deserves, you don't need to say it. You could just say you're working together without it being other stuff. But I think all of the Will pushing the Mickey and Ashley, like, let's work together and those are my daughters. I think that was really more because he felt like Mickey wanted to keep Ashley around, but also like wanted to make sure Ashley was still like thinking she was good. So even when Mickey and Ashley and them were kind of like starting to have like a little bit of a beef, he was still always trying to make sure like, yeah, but like, let's make sure like she kind of sticks around. And that was kind of like the one spot where I wasn't sure how Will and Ava felt. It was like 2 days ago, right at this point, where Ashley was talking to Will and Ava about possibly keeping Jimmy. And then both of them ended up ratting her out to Mickey that was going on. But then later, they all ended up in a room together. It was Mickey, Ashley, Ava, and Will. And it almost felt like, because like a lot of the time when it was Mickey and Will, it felt like he was trying to like make sure that like the Ashley thing was still okay. Whereas like Ava was pushing it a little bit more. And it felt like at one point Ava was like, wait, when did Mickey and Ashley get cool again? It felt like maybe she was like, wait, when did this happen? Like, I didn't know. I thought we didn't like Ashley. Wait, we like Ashley again? Okay. So I always wanted those Will and Ava convos because we don't get a lot of them on the feeds, like barely ever. Last time I remember really getting them, like, it was like early in the morning, like very first week of the season. And ever since it was like, yeah, so they formed like a core 4, but Ava said last night to Mickey and Will, she's like, listen, I never felt good about the 4. My core has always been us 3. Like, this is the 3 I like. So like they're very hesitant with Ashley because they worry about her leaking too much and she's always running her mouth. They still kind of hope she could be a number, but it's like keeping their distance, right? A little bit weary of her. There are any punishments for Rachel and Ashley breaking the rules during the live veto? We don't know if there's going to be any. There should be. That was just the universe intervening. Remember, little Ava has aura. That was my favorite thing about Ava winning, instantly kicking everyone out and not doing any one-on-ones. I've never seen it before, and I love it. Wasn't Ava bad-mouthing Ashley within? Yes, she was, and they're still doing that. But as of now, they're kind of keeping her close for now as potentially a number. But we'll see how it goes. She's like one of the third options to go up as a renom. Like, she's probably third option down for renom. Rachel and Ashley broke the rules during the voting. I missed last night's. Oh, Sunshine. You missed the episode last night? Oh, Sunshine. Let me lay this out for you. All right. You guys ready? We're going to fill Sunshine in here. So Rachel goes in. She votes Kelly out of the game. She's walking out of the diary room, and Ashley's walking in. And she's like, what do I do? And Rachel's like, you got to vote to keep Jimmy. You got to vote to keep Jimmy. This is our only chance to get Kelly out. We got to get Kelly out. So Ashley goes in, and she votes for Kelly. And she walks out of the diary room, and she's in the diary room hallway, and Will's there. He's about to come in to vote. And she's like, "What? I voted for Kelly." And Will's like, "What do you mean you voted for Kelly? We're voting for Jimmy." So she runs back into the diary room. She runs back in, and there's like the little like speaker microphone. She's like, "Excuse me, I'd like to change my vote for Jimmy to. I want Jimmy to leave now." And Will the entire time's like, what is going on? And she leaves. But Julie was saying, no, like, you can't do that. Like, this is not allowed. And her vote counted. Like, there were only 2 votes for Kelly. Ashley was one of them. Rachel was the other. Here's the kicker. We're not 100% sure she heard. Because one of the things that's happening right now is, at the very least, to some people, Ashley is pretending like she didn't vote for Kelly. And there was speculation on who that second vote was, and they might be trying to push Keanu and Vince. So one of 2 things. Either Ashley is now trying to use it as a way just to spin lies, and like she's lying about it, or there's a small chance she thinks she flipped her vote and it didn't count. Which I hope is true. I hope that's the real answer. I hope she thinks she went in there and changed her vote and it didn't count, and she actually voted Jimmy and somebody else did a hinky vote. Because if that's the case, oh, that's too funny. It's too funny. The audience was giggling in the background. It was so good. It was so good. Not the right message, but it mirrors real life. Laura's like, actually, you know. Eventually. Laura, you're spreading the same message now. Can someone help me understand these gifts flying around? Oh, yeah, because somebody else gifted. I totally went on a tangent. Cara, thank you so much for 5 gifted memberships to the channel. If you got hooked up by Cara, make sure you say thank you. Cara, you're going to get some Rocky here. I can't do the whole thing. I can only do that. That's all we get on the Rocky. We can only do that much on YouTube, but thank you so much, Cara, for hooking everybody up. So, gifted members, if you don't know, 1, you get a cool name. Your name is green. You also get the little Oreo next to you, and the longer you're a member, the Oreo changes colors. So, like, every month you're a member of the Oreos, there's a new color of the milk for the Oreo that you're getting dunked in. You get like cool emotes too, and if you are in Discord and you have your YouTube and Discord connected, I believe you have like a members waiting channel that you could join, and we could potentially do like a call-in show on Discord, which could be a fun time, where we would be here like on the channel, and you call in and be like, hey, I think Ava winning HOH is terrible, and we could talk about it. YouTube selects, yes, for the gifted. Usually what it does, like if you gifted 5, it's not necessarily like you choose 5 people. It's just like 5 random people get hooked up. I believe you do have to be in chat to get a gifted membership, but otherwise, yeah, it's just like a kind of like a random draw of gifting and hooking up the community. There's lots of ways you guys can support. All this stuff is never ever required, but definitely always appreciated. And then we also got what's that? Herbal Trisha coming on in over on Twitch, hitting that follow button. I appreciate it, because we are live on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. You can watch wherever you like. It's totally up to you. Is that Glenn? What's up, Glenn? Glenn, what do you think of what's going on? Ava winning HOH, Keanu, Vince, Zach, potential nominees. Could be nuts. Herbal Trisha, what's up? How are you? Thank you so much for hitting that follow, joining the chat. So what I was saying was, there's lots of ways you could support the channel, right? Honestly, easiest way to support it, just hitting that like button. If you hit that like button on YouTube, it helps so much. If you're on Kick and Twitch, just hitting that follow button is fantastic too as well, to help support and kind of grow us. You could also hit the subscribe button over on YouTube. That always helps. And then there are other ways, right? You can join the channel through a membership. You can do this like super chats and stuff like that too. And then there is also the Ori Fund. You can do exclamation Ori Fund. A little link pops up. It's the easiest way to probably support directly. And it helps support Oris everywhere. It helps support Oris everywhere. And Beast Voyager following over on Twitch as well. I appreciate you coming on in. Where are we at here? Rob is special. Oh, wait, what happened? Thanks for the hookup. I missed something. Oh, I'm gifted. Ladies, maybe talk to Rob. Vince started spiraling. Oh yeah, he was spiraling. He was so worried last night. He was spiraling even before that the hammock. I think he was spiraling as soon as Ava won. He was really worried. It is oh yeah, it's gonna be chaos with Ava. Do you guys have a schedule? So, do you mean like the BB schedule or just like the schedule here? Every single morning, first thing in the morning, we do YouTube videos on the channel, covering everything you need to know about what happened on the live feeds the day before. Usually they're between, let's say like 20 minutes. Sometimes they go longer, sometimes they go shorter. But anywhere from like 20 minutes to 30 minutes is usually like what I aim for. So it's like a nice, condensed update where we're not dragging on for too long. Then on Fridays, we go live. So we do the same update where you get the condensed beginning, everything you need to know right in the beginning of the stream. And then afterwards, after we give you everything you need to know, we jump into the chat like this. We have a good time. We also do watch parties. So every live eviction, we do a watch party here on the channel. We were live last night doing it. It was a lot of fun, especially when Ashley went to do her vote. Like I don't even remember what my reaction was. I think I went hands on the head. I think I went full hands on the head. Like, what is she doing? But we do live parties for the live eviction. We've been doing some watch parties for the Sunday episodes and the Wednesday episodes. My original plan was not to do those, but one of the things we kept doing was like a little challenge. Like if you get 1,500 likes, we'll do one. And then there were 2 weeks where we didn't hit the like goal, but a couple of cool things happened. On one of them, we didn't hit the like goal, but I forget who it was. I think it was Selly. Selly went and hit up the Ori Fund. And I was like, you know what? That was really generous of Selly to hit that up. So I went and we had the watch party anyway. Then there was also a week we didn't hit it, but we had just hit 17,000 subscribers. I was like, all right, for that, I guess we should also do a watch party to reward everybody. So yeah, I think we're going to continue the challenge for the Sunday and Wednesday watch parties, but we'll see. You guys have been crushing it. So if we keep doing them, we'll keep doing them. Let's see where we're at here. Congress, who's supposed to be Vince. Congress spiraling. So Vince spiraling during Mickey's HOH, now spiraling this week. He may need to reevaluate his gameplay. Yes, he does. Yeah, Lars, 17K. It's a weird thing to think about. Because, I'd say, we have the 17K, but, we have a solid, 11 to 12K who watch every single morning. Very solid 10K. Almost every video I post gets 10,000 views. Which, look, when you look at, a Mr. Beast, right? That's, yeah, it's nothing. But man, it's crazy to think about that number. Like, and it's why, like, all the time I'm telling you guys thank you, because I'm just this goofy dude on the internet talking about Big Brother, right? Like, I started doing, I still remember, like, it was like I got a couple of people here and there watching the videos, and like a couple of the videos would get to like 500, and I'd be like, yo, that's really cool, I got like 500 people watch a video. And like, it's why I always continue to say thank, because I never want to take that for granted, right? Whether it's one person who shows up, and I still, like, there's days where I go like, I hope people show up. I hope people watch, right? Like, because it's just, it amazes me that even one person is like, yeah, like, I want to come back and listen to what you have to say. Because, like, I'm just a goofy dude on the internet talking about Big Brother. This is a show I've been watching since I was just a little dude, just a tiny little guy, you know, watching this show, literally since season 1, right? I had a pug of my own. Our pug was named Roxy, obviously, Chiquita. On or what was it? It was Chiquita, right? What was the dog's name now? I'm blanking. It was Chiquita, right? It was something weird like that. But yeah, the great dog. And then my favorite episode of that first season was when they had all the pugs in the backyard. And there was one of the dogs that only had 3 legs, and Eddie, who was the eventual winner, who was also missing a leg, he went and hung out with the 3-legged dog. And I was like, that is such a funny little like moment. Like, it's so adorable seeing them two together, and he's like making a buddy. Yeah, just great memories from all the way back then. And then, of course, right when the game actually became the game we know today, right, with Big Brother 2, and we saw what Will did. But I'll tell you, I still remember, like, the moment I truly fell in love with the game, because I feel like for season 1, it was just like, this is a thing we see, right? This is just a thing we see, and it's fun, it's whatever. Season 2, I was like, oh, that was better than season 1, but it was still just a thing. I fell in love with the game season 3, watching Danielle Reyes and Jason. Those two, I still remember, like, hey, I'm not in an alliance yet, are you? Nah, I'm not in one either. Well, if you're not in one and I'm not in one, they all definitely have one. We should probably work together. And like that, like just them two making their way through the game was when I fell in love. I fell in love with Big Brother that season watching them two go along. So to think back to all those that time now, and then I'm doing this, like, what? It's crazy. It's crazy. And I get to hang out with all you guys. I watched the first season. Yeah, that first season was so different, right? But it's what got us initially hooked, right? Season 8 popped your BB cherry. Your lives and videos make my morning. Oh, well, thank you. Or you were right about Will and Ava. I like that we found out Ava and Will's secret final too. I loved BB27 and Chicken George threatening to leave. It's like, what if we all just walk out? What are they gonna do? what are they gonna do? Mr. Beast don't have Oreos. I watched it too. Yeah, Spice Girl, right? Great times. Yeah, Chicken George was season 1. He did come back for All Stars. He was the kind of representative for that season. And you know what I loved about George? He was willing to do it all, right? That's back when they had the How Bad Do You Want It veto challenge, which low key, that's probably the challenge I want back the most. I want that back in jury. How Bad Do You Want It is one of the best. When they got people shaving their head, dyeing themselves blue, going on slop for the rest of the year, being like, hey, how many weeks will you give up playing in veto? How many weeks would you give up playing in HOH were sometimes options? That competition needs to come back because it saves, right? Like if you're in like the final 5 or the final 6, you're like sometimes dead to rights. But yo, that comp comes along, and if you're willing to do whatever it takes, yo, you can keep yourself around if you're willing to shave your head. You can keep yourself around if you're willing to shred all your clothes. That was an option too once. So that's probably my like most missed comp that I wish they would bring that back. Slip and slide. Slip and slide was always a fun one too. Eric Stein was a really good player. Having to be America's player kind of robbed. He's somebody that I wish would have gotten a chance to play again at some point. Brendan taking the chum bath, right? Like, it's just one of those comps where it's like, man, I kind of miss it. I wish they would bring that back. I was going to... I thought you were going to say he had 3 legs. I mean, at one point in his life, right? Maybe he did, right? Before he lost his leg, maybe it was 3 legs. And maybe now that he lost his leg, maybe technically it's 2 legs, right? I don't know, Spice Girl. I've never seen. I could never confirm that for you. Robert though might have 3 legs. Robert said he's special in other ways. We're not sure. We're not sure. I fell in love with it season 1. Never stopped watching. Bro, Spice Girl's like, bro, whoa. Back in the day, 30 minutes each night. Oh man, it was the best back in the day. Shelly, I'm not a Rachel fan either. I'm a little behind on watching this morning, but Wawa is not expanding in the Sheets territory. We just got some here in Central PA. Ooh, yeah, see? I was coming after Sheets. Shout out to my dogs at the crib. What exactly, Donnie? Whatever it takes. And that's why I love that veto. Because you literally would do whatever it takes to win it. Someone will use a toothbrush in the toilet. No. Don't use the toothbrush in the toilet. Rachel should wear a shock collar that zaps her every time she breaks the rules. With Britt handcuffed to Brendan. Oh, yes. Yes, because they'll do like who would be handcuffed like the longest for a punishment. Oh, man. Good times. Good times. They need I think that's one they definitely need to bring back. They definitely need to bring that back. 100%. I miss it. I miss it so much. Let's see where we're at here. Devon season. They got naked. I feel like I fell in love season 1. Missed the food comps. I want Ava to grab somebody's toothbrush now. Oh no. Yeah, we've been going for a bit. How long have we been going? Like 2.5? We're going for like 2.5 now. See, the thing is, it flies. It flies by. Like, having like the streams like this, it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. You guys make it just. It's hard to like put into words, but it just makes it not feel as long as it does. You guys just bring it to a different level. Be done with Battle of the Block. Bring back the punishment comms. Philippines fans rooted for Rachel to go further or win the game. Let's see where we're at. I hope Ava puts up Ashley and Vince and Rachel. So Sharon, right now, her plan is Vince, Zach, and Keanu. Potential renoms, Lauren or Morgan. And then if there's something hinky, which we know could be happening, Ashley's name was thrown out there, but they didn't want to do it. And they want to keep Kat and Riley safe, so they're not putting them up. Super Christian with the $5 super chat. Ori, so who won? Ava? That'll be fun. You have no clue, Super Christian. It was amazing last night. Ava and Will finished like a whole bottle of wine. It's going to be awesome. But Super Christian, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. This is a good season. I'm enjoying it. New game, etc. Me too. I think it's going to be a fun week this week, especially. So glad Ori wished for more. Ava, Will, and it came true. Attaboy. Like I said, I was asking for it, and they gave it. And to quote Drew McIntyre, I prayed for this, and it happened. I prayed for this, and it happened. I manifested it with my great Scottish accent there. Or do we have a draft update? Yes, the draft is updated. I think if I do that in the chat, the link will pop up there. Give it a minute, but it should pop on up. But it is all updated for the latest HOH comp. Ori in the morning coffee, Jolene in the evening with wine, with BB boy Kayla, and Dina in the afternoon tea and biscuits. Gotta love it, John. Gotta love it. I think they should have gave Keanu a break. Keep repeating the same people. Wrestling, just a little bit of wrestling, JJ. Just a little bit of wrestling. Just a little bit. Oh, look at that Spice Girl getting level 2 in the Twitch chat. Let's go. The Venn diagram. Good bot. Yeah, the good bot. Good bot. He put the link in there. You guys can check the BB draft all out there. Why can't I imagine any of these house guests left winning? This is going to be crazy. I think there's a few winners. I think there's a few good winning options in there. And I wouldn't mind a lot of them winning at the moment. I think they've played messy games, but fun games so far. Like mess is fun, right? A good messy game is fun. I'm enjoying it. Who's she gonna nom? Mika, what's up? She's right now looking at Vince, Zach, and Keanu. Keanu's pretty much there to beat Vince and Zach in the veto. And they're hoping that they can break up the trio of Vince, Zach, Morgan, or Lauren. Or I guess I get quad, right? But more so Vince and Zach are the big targets. They're the ones they really want to go after. But we all know that Zach has the 10K. So even if he's there on the block after the veto, he could take himself off. Spirit Mendrick coming on in. I'm probably saying that wrong, and I apologize. But thank you for hitting that follow button over on Twitch. I appreciate it. It was pretty mean to put Kelly on when she came to her so kind and asked so nice for her birthday. They made her have not for her birthday. Yeah, it was a shame Kelly had to be up for her birthday, but this week they plan to keep her off the block because they think that it could bring her on over to their side as a number. So they're kind of hoping they can do that. Don't worry. Okay, sorry, I'm late to the party. No worries, he showed up just in time. 16 likes on this stream is crazy low. Is that all we got? Is that all we got on the stream? 16 likes. If you guys are enjoying it, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. NWOS mug is awesome. Yeah, Kara. Got the Ori World Order mug. You know. Gotta love it. I was watching the live feed and Zach made a point to say there was no powers left, right? So, I mean, like, that's the thing. He still has one, which is fantastic. Yeah, I haven't seen any have-nots made either. Was Kelly a have-not last week? I don't know. I don't think she was. She did have her birthday dinner. I think they'll be happy with Zach. I was watching live feeds. I was seeing, oh yeah, 600. Nice. We're up there. That's good. That's a good spot to be. If Kelly regenerates with the house or reintegrates with the house this week, I could easily see her making it to final 2. Right, Jimbo? Like if she makes some good enough connections and kind of can wiggle her way on through, she really could. I think they would eventually be like, look, we got to get rid of her at some point because I think they are scared of her comp skills. So that's going to be her big worry. She's going to need to win more comps because she has been seen as somebody who can win. So once like a double eviction comes up, she could be somebody that could be really targeted then. So that's I think her biggest worry. I love Tom too, but definitely Ori has the most out of him and Taryn. Tom is great. We love Tom around here as well. 2-hour stream is crazy. Is it? Is it crazy? I mean, we're almost working on 3. But honestly, like, what I do like, too, is I always want to give you guys that beginning update where it's short, to the point, right? Especially just like on the Fridays, where it's like, hey, if you can't stick around for the whole stream, we get it. No worries. That first 20 minutes, though, is just for those people, right? If they got to dip out and come back later, maybe they want to watch later, you can do that, too. Because I think what I've even heard is some people, what they'll do is like, we can't be there on Friday morning, but I'll use it as like a podcast later, and we'll like listen, you know, on like Saturday. You know, we got nothing else to do, so we'll listen on a Saturday and kind of catch up. So that's always kind of cool too. Where is that mastermind? That's a good question. We haven't seen the mastermind in a bit. That's a good question. Just leave Keanu alone for the week, right? Our poor guy. Ava sticks to the idea of getting males out. She is evil. No, she's not evil. Ava's just playing the game. And what the heck happened with the have-nots? They always do that eventually, where they just kind of give up. They just kind of give up on the have-nots at some point. I don't know this for certain, but one of the things they did do was they were doing, 4 have-nots. And then eventually they went down to 2. And I haven't heard this as the official reason, but Rachel fell off one of the have-not beds. And I think ever since they were like, listen, I don't think we can have anybody sleep on those elevators, because there's 2 beds, like one's on a desk and one's on a table. And they were like, I think we didn't think this through. Let's just do 2 because those ones are on the floor. So I think that's why they changed it to 2. But I never heard that like confirmed anywhere. That's just my like theory that production was like, all right, we can't have them. We can't have them falling out of the beds. I like Keanu, who's just misunderstood. I agree. I like Keanu. He's grown on me a lot. Unintentionally funny with his game, but really grown on me. I like him. He's kind of the underdog right now, too, so I'm kind of rooting for him. They need to bring back the food comps. And that's the thing, too, because the food comps, what they kind of did was if you were on a team with somebody that you kept losing the comps, like you'd get like irrationally mad at them because now you can't have food. And sometimes that would even cause like fights and drama. Like look back at BB10, half those fights were because of the food comps. Like half those fights were them being like, yo, I gotta be with the old people? What do you mean old people? So I kind of miss that. And for the most part, have-nots really don't matter. People just like volunteer, like, oh, it's my time, I'll do it. So it really doesn't like matter to the game. So at least have the food comps where it's like, hey, if they're like half of them are getting food or like, winning a prize or something, have it be sponsored, that way you're getting paid for it. Like it's not, listen, it's not rocket science to really produce a good show here. But they don't give me the keys. They don't give me the keys to that. Where are we at here? I really don't like Ava. Is that nice? I think she could be evil. No. I like Keanu also at this point, but I'm not sure he would do anything good with the power. Let's see. Ava reminds me of Robot Sam from BB20. Number 1 on no one-on-ones unless she tells them she will talk. I like when the have-nots were teams, everybody was hurting eggs 100%, right? Because it's like this guy over here lost me the whole comp. Was the Adrian the only Texan? I don't know. Where's Riley from? He's from the South, I would imagine. Zay was Salt Lake. I don't know. Maybe. Keanu getting endorsement after the show would only come from the Quickie Crete. Boy is a brick in saltwater. Oklahoma. I'm telling you, Hotel Mistre is going to rear its ugly head soon. I don't think it was a memory wall glitch. Oh, that's right. There was that little memory thing, right? I don't know if it's going to be a thing or not. That the picture at the bottom is Extra, who is going to be the mystery house guest. I don't know how I would feel about somebody coming in now, unless they were always in sequester. If they were always in sequester, I'd be okay with it. Applebee's sponsored. Exactly, right? We can get some sponsors in there. It would be perfect. Volunteer for a have-not is okay now because they have more options of a selection to eat. So, like, here's the thing, though. The reason why I say I don't like the whole volunteering is it kind of takes out whatever the have-not point was. Part of, like, being a have-not, it's not just that, like, oh, you only eat slop or you get cold showers. A big part of it was someone put you there. And the reason why you're taking a cold shower and the reason why you're eating this gross slop is because of that guy over there. He made you a have-not. Or, if it wasn't just their direct choice, that guy over there, the other guy who's also taking cold showers, he lost me the competition. The only reason I'm eating this gross stuff right now is because of that guy over there losing. And he was holding me down. And it can create this animosity and tension and add that into the house. Because one of the things is, we've talked about before, this house does weird stuff to you. It makes you think crazy. And you're not thinking clearly. And if you're especially on slop and you're not thinking clearly, you're really going to blame that guy across the table who made you on slop. Whereas now, it's like, if everybody just volunteers, it's just like, oh, it's my turn, I'll do it, right? And that's just not, like, what's the point? At that point, then, if everybody just is doing it, being like, oh, it's my turn, it's like, what's really the point? Julie mentioned a celebrity house guest. She mentioned a celebrity mystery guest for the BB Unlocked with Derek and Rachel. Last week they had what's his name? It's like Monahan. What's his first name? Dominic? Is it Dominic Monaghan? He used to be on SNL, but he's also known as being like a Big Brother fan. This one, there was something with a football, some kind of green backing to it, I think. I forget what it was. And then I think I heard somebody say there was a year attached to it, like 1980 something. So potentially some football player from 1980s. Okay, it was 1986 and football. I know there was also green. It didn't seem like Eagles green. It looked more Green Bay Packer or even Jets green. Someone said Jerry O'Connell. Green was just a field background. And that could be it too. Like, the green might not have anything to do with it. I'm just trying to throw out possibilities. What would Jerry O'Connell and the football in 1986 represent? Bo Jackson? Maybe it's Bo. Bobby. Yes, Bobby Monahan, right? Maybe that's his name. Maybe a relative of one of the guests or a previous BB player coming in to not play the game. One of his movies. Was one of his movies with football? It's not Walter Payton. Maybe not permanent. Stand By Me? But what does Stand By Me and the football have to do? Because obviously Stand By Me, if that was 1986, that makes sense. He was in Show Me the Money? Jerry Maguire? Skee-Ball! What's up, Skee-Ball? I guess that could count, right? I guess that could count. But also, like, I wouldn't think of him for Jerry Maguire right off the bat. I would think of Cuba, yeah, and then I would think of Tom Cruise, right? Like, I wouldn't think of Jerry O'Connell. But if he was in the movie, I guess that could count. Brett Favre. It would be cool if it was my high school classmate, Clyde Simmons, All-Pro D for the Eagles. Yes, he was. That would be pretty cool. Super Christian coming in with the $5 super chat. I'm sure they put sugar in the slop. That's why no one complains about the have-nots. Rachel said that compared to when she was on before, it's different but about the same as far as grossness. And the big difference is the texture, because this one's more of like the steel cut oats than the last stuff used to be. And another thing we know for sure is that old slop that Rachel used to have would be the same one that Dan had. And Dan's the only person who's ever had US slop and Canadian slop. And he said Canadian slop was worse. So those are what we know. This slop is different than the old school slop, but about the same, just different texture. And then the Canadian was worse. Brian Dawkins, oh, maybe. Could be. But Brett Favre, I don't think it's going to be Brett Favre, but you never know. Kato Kaelin, no. Carolyn. Not Kato. Not Kato. Yeah, they could put anything in it, condiments. Yes, and like rules change too. Like on BB Can, they weren't allowed to use like stuff like salsa. But in the US, they usually let them do like different stuff like pickles and stuff like that. 86 is too old for Brett Favre. Have not should be have to clean the house as punishment. Oh. The HOH used to assign them. And well, that's the thing. Even the thing, the HOH used to assign the chores, but then like even now it just became like people would volunteer for the chores. We shall see. CBS would not have Favre on. You never know. Let's go Dak. Jerry O'Connell, just a huge guess. Yeah, right. But like that's the thing too, right? He's totally an option. He could be an option. I'm not saying he's not. And I guess that does add up, right? If Stand By Me was in 86 and then you're counting Jerry Maguire as kind of like the football, then yeah, it kind of works. I think there's supposed to be like another clue coming out. Usually that one kind of gives it away. Eagles play the Cowboys week 1. They do play the Cowboys week 1. We're dropping the banner. Gonna be a good time. Guys, what happened? Someone summarize, please. Ava HOH. She's looking at putting up Vince, Zach, and Keanu. Obviously, Zach has his 10K that he can use to get off. Potential renoms, Lauren and Morgan. And Will was very excited with the idea of Morgan going up. Very excited. We had some stuff there happen. Let's see what I missed. I think Tiffany came in, hit that sub button. Tiffany, you don't know this, but when you hit that subscribe button, me and you, we now have a final 2. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody, Tiffany. We're going to the end. If you hear anything about other final 2s, it's not true. It's not true. Just me and you. Thank you so much for hitting that. Jerry just makes sense considering his relationship with CBS. That's true. He does a lot with them. And doesn't he like still have some show he does? Because I know he's hosted shows before. He's had like other stuff he's done. He was on The View, I think, for a little bit. Not The View. What's the CBS View? The Talk? Is that what it's called? The Talk? We've heard enough about the Eagles in the last year. Skee ball never. It's never enough. Yeah. Oh, he filled in for Kelly Ripa. Or your Eagles are going down this year against the Cowboys. I'm talking regular season. Uh-oh. Go Birds. Ashley would who would leave the house. I'm starting to think Ori has more than whoa. No, that's not true. That's not true. Didn't Josh get salsa thrown in his face? I might have been. Who won HOH? Ava. Ava won HOH. It's crazy. It's crazy. Ooh, Commanders. Okay. Evan, Glenn's a Commanders fan as well. Jalen Hurts is a dog. He's a dog. You know it's hunting season when Jalen Hurts starts talking like a fortune cookie. When he starts saying things like, keeping the main thing, you gotta walk through fire to feel that smoke. No, it's I didn't walk through the fire just to feel the smoke. when he starts talking like a fortune cookie, it's on. That's my quarterback, baby. That's my quarterback. Curious to see how much influence certain people have on over Ava. So the thing is, Ski, I don't think a lot. And I think a lot of people are going to try and take credit for it. And I think she can even let that happen. But these noms are her noms. Like, she's been on this track for a while now. And she's been kind of dead set, like, from the start. Like, I'm putting up Vince, I'm putting up Zach, and I'm putting up Keanu. And I think, like Mickey said later on, like, I think she made this decision way before tonight. I think she's had this in mind now for a little bit. So while there may be people that will say, like, oh, her HOH is being run by Rachel, or, oh, Mickey's running her HOH, or somebody else is running her HOH, I think this is all Ava and Will. I think both of them are on the same page, and they know what they're doing. I think Ava's been, like, secretly playing one of the best games. She was good with, like, everyone in the house. So we'll kind of see how it goes. Super Christian with the $2 super chat. I wonder whose Ori Reels final 2 is. Not to... Wow. Chill. Did we see Rachel getting slimed in the show, or is that only for the Friday thing? I think that's going to be tonight on the Friday thing. I think that'll be the night. I hate the feeds were down so long for Rachel getting slimed. Yeah, that was a thing too. That wasn't fun. Where are we at here? Oh, who's that? We had Michael coming on in. Michael, and then also, Karen as well. We had Karen and Michael. Listen, Karen and Michael. I feel really good about you two. And I don't know how you guys feel about this, but Karen and Michael, I think the three of us, we're going to the end. Final 3. Me, Karen, Michael, we're going to the end. And listen, if you hear about other alliances, it's not true. I promise. We only got each other. It's a secret. Keep it a secret. Thanks so much for hitting that sub button. I think she's been playing well, but these early evictions can put her in a tough spot if she ends up having to nominate 5 people. Yes, which is a possibility, Skee Ball. It's 100% in the realm of possibility that she has to nominate 5 people. She might have to make waves because she can't keep everyone safe. 100%. But one of the things she did say was, right, like she's putting up Vince, Zach, and Keanu. She doesn't want to put up Lauren, but she will. And she's thought about putting up Morgan, and she's thought about putting up Ashley. And one of the things she said was, listen, everyone's got to go. If they didn't, they'd call it squatters' rights. So she's also here, Laura, for making waves. Like, she's down for it, which is fun to see. It's fun to see. Ava can go right after she gets rid of Vince. I think she completely changed her mind last minute if she gets pissed enough at people. Why are the feeds down so long last night? The knockout shouldn't have taken that long. It shouldn't have, Glenn. I don't know why they kept it down as long as they did, but it does kind of stink. I wish they would have at least given us like post episode, but pre-HOH feeds, or brought them back earlier. But it was down for a long time. Unlock is playing overnight in St. Louis due to the Cards game. Oh no. Rachel better not get the power. We've already seen that play out in BB13. See everyone waking up. Karen and Michael, he'll dump you too, like yesterday's garbage for next subscriber. You be warned. No, definitely not true. Super Christian B World. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Listen, guys, if you are new here, though, hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, if you're having a fun time during the stream, smash that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You never miss a stream. We are live on Kick, Twitch, and YouTube. You can watch wherever you like. Chat's down there. It all intermingles, so it's real nice. So if you're on Kick or Twitch, you want to hit that follow button, go on ahead. That would be hilarious if somebody actually tried to claim squatters right after being evicted. Cali house laws make it tough to get rid of squatters. That would be hilarious. It's got to be in the contract, right? Like they've got to have a way around that. But that would be amazing if someone's like, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Not the biggest David fan, but loving the idea of fresh noms. Why not start the HOH comp during the live show and have it continue on the live like they used to? I feel you. It's a shame. But still, Keanu, not really good. I wish Keanu wasn't going up too. But hopefully he wins that veto. Not a fan at all, especially when she and Will ratted Ashley out. The veto wasn't necessary. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Morgan and Mickey would be the best. Vince is going to wake up and spiral out of control again. Watch his demise in real time. Not a fan of Ava anymore. Then who's your real final two? Super Christian. It's totally you. It's totally you. We're going to the end, buddy. Thank you so much for this $2 super chat. Just tuning in. How did Ava win? And who are the noms looking like? Keanu, Kelly, and Zach. Ava won with Will being the final two in the knockout comp, and they were trying to lose to each other, but didn't work out, and Ava won. Apparently, Zach didn't know what he was doing, and he put Will and Mickey up, or Morgan up, because he thought it was a tournament style thing. And then Rachel was put up like 3 different times. Everybody was going after Rachel. Craziness. And then also remember, Zach's going up on the block potentially. So if he goes up on the block, he has his 10K, so he can come off the block. It could be nuts. Ava's fake, but she tries really hard. Ava has the soul of a 75 bitter alcoholic. By the way, Ava's HOH album, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band. Very on brand. Very, very on brand for Ava. What kind of bothers me about this group is they constantly target Keanu. But why would he put him up first, limit his ability to get off the block, and only give him the blockbuster? So that's the thing, Skee-Ball, right? Like, part of putting him up right now is they want Keanu to win the veto. They actually want Keanu to win it so that Zach or Vince don't win it. That's part of why he's going up this week, is they want him to win. They don't want him to go anywhere. They want him to win. But if you want to get him out, that's what you have to do. You have to put him up after the veto as a renom. Hello there from Jordy. What's up, Jordy? How are you? I love Sgt. Pepper's and the White Album. Only good from this is Willis and Keanu going up this week. Why not backdoor Vince? They could, but she's putting them right on up. Explain how Zach can use the 10K to come off the block. So when he won it, it's only known to him, as far as we know, he has not shared it. But after the veto ceremony, Zach will have the chance to give that 10K to the HOH. It's not a choice. If he decides to do this, it happens. The HOH can't refuse it. The HOH then gets the 10K. Zach comes off the block, and the HOH has to put somebody up. A bribe, but actually, you know what? I think it was Bondo earlier said it best. It's more a bailout, right? It's more of a bailout where he bails himself out with 10K. HOH is 10K richer, and they have to nominate someone in their place. And he can do that after the veto ceremony. And that's when he gets to use it. Yes, an offer they can't refuse. Good old Godfather offer. Yeah, they can't say no. Cash bailout initiative. Maybe they don't know how to backdoor. I guess Rachel isn't saying anything about it yet. She's like, listen, I don't want anybody to know about this. That's not good. So that seems like a convenient logic. Right. It's how they're going at it right now, but we'll see how it goes. I want Keanu to stay. I would love them to pass the power on to the HOH and not to use it. So if Vince is against Zach, they can pull one off. So if Vince is against Zach, I would imagine he would want the veto used on Vince so that Vince comes off and then Zach can use the power on himself. Because as far as I know, Zach can only use it to take himself off the block. I do not think he can then say, oh, I want to take Vince off. It has to be himself. So in the best case scenario for Zach and Vince or even Morgan or Lauren win the veto, use it to take Vince off the block, and then Zach would take himself off the block. That would be like the best case scenario for that group. And also the craziest one, probably. Because then at that point, Ashley goes up. She becomes one of the noms. Just watch this 10K get passed around until jury. That would be cool. But as far as I know, I think it's a one-time use. I don't think that like the Ava, once she gets it, she could pass it on. But that would be kind of a cool little thing. Skee-Ball, that would become a cool little thing because then it starts as a bailout and then it becomes a bounty. Everybody starts putting that person up on the block. Look, Shenanigans hitting that follow on Twitch. Appreciate it. Loving the new powers. I'd rather Keanu, obnoxious self over those two. Wow, we love Keanu. I hear you though. I hear you. That would be your perfect week. Messing up everybody's plan. Absolutely. So they find out Ashley voted for Jimmy to stay. That's another interesting thing. We assume Ashley's just lying. She might also have filled in Mickey and Rachel, who are also just lying. But there is like this bit of a thing where they're trying to spin some doubt that maybe the second vote was Keanu and Vince. There is a very small but non-zero chance that maybe Ashley doesn't know she didn't actually change her vote. She might think to herself that it counted that she flipped her vote. Because we don't know if she heard Julie or not. Which I hope is the right answer. But we don't know that for sure. Wow, it's almost 1,000 people in here. That's crazy. That's crazy. They're finally showing Ava crashed out in the HOH room. Her and Will polished off a bottle of wine. Polished it off. Is Will keeping quiet about Ashley's vote? So that's the other thing too, Will. We were also saying, just because Will was there, he knows that Ashley went back in. But if Ashley didn't hear, there's also a chance that Will didn't hear the no. So there's a chance where Ashley could say, but I switched my vote, even if she's lying. And Will might say, well, she did go back in. So Will might even be able to confirm. He might be able to confirm once she went back in. So there's a lot of fun little things at play there with it. That is just such a crazy moment. We've never seen something like that. Someone going back into the diary room. It's too funny. Too funny. Will said he's said keep Ashley off the block. And that's the thing. They're trying to keep Ashley off the block for now. But they're definitely like, eh. Well, Robert, here's the thing. Somebody else said that too, that Will definitely heard the no, because he was shaking his head. I don't know if we know that for sure. Because again, in that scenario, Will's got to be thinking, this girl, Ashley, he could have just been shaking his head for that. We don't know 100%. We don't know that 100%. Unless we hear Will have said, like, oh, I heard and it didn't count, then we can say that. But I don't know if we can 100% confirm he heard it or not. On the live feed, Ashley told Rachel it wasn't her. She was set up, and then Rachel and Ashley went to Mickey. So that's what I'm saying, Tasha, right? Like, and I don't know if it's like she's just lying, or if maybe she even thinks she's flipped it and it counted that she voted for Jimmy instead. We just don't know. It's too funny. It's too funny. I don't know why Mickey would care as the principal of the Big Brother house. Rachel told Ashley longest they talked in the hallway during the votes. And that's the other thing too, right? Like the house is already going to know something weird was up because it took them so long in the hallway, right? Like what was that all about? So like there's lots of layers on here where it's like she can lie or she might actually think it's the truth. But then like the house is also going to have other information they can use to maybe be like, maybe it is her. So it's kind of going to be fun with all the doubt that they're floating out there. So we'll see. She's a lawyer. Of course she is lying. Ashley's the most annoying. She's the one I want gone the most. It's crazy. It's crazy. Another BB first for sure. It looked like Ashley still had the door. Like that's the thing. She might have had the door open. But here's the thing, Rob. Like what I'm trying to say is sometimes that button that Julie has, it doesn't work and the house guest can't actually hear her. How many times has the house guest gone, we can't hear you? It's a live TV show, right? So we don't know 100% if Ashley heard, because Ashley walked out like she didn't hear anything. It seemed like Ashley was just like, yep, no, I'm changing to Jimmy. So we just don't know. Until we like get confirmation, I'm just still putting it out there that it's a possibility. I can't say either way for sure. Who wants an indecisive lawyer? Mickey told Rachel, I trust you. And she said, me and Ashley are working on it. So Mickey doesn't trust Ashley completely. But yet Mickey told Morgan she does it. That's the thing, Tasha. That's why I'm a little confused on like who knows what. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, it's hilarious. Will is no Dr. Will. You know, not to think about it, Ava has a problem with Keanu since day 2 when he was following around. 100%, right? Like she's always kind of wanted him up. So putting him up isn't a big thing, but at the moment, that's not who they want out. They do want Vince out. Vince is like the main target, also Zach. And then Keanu's kind of up there, hopefully, so that he can beat them in the veto. Wouldn't want Ashley as my lawyer. Ashley is the Lulu. She lives in her own tasty world. Fans tie the fans tie the world. Oreo, I know what you were saying about the trigger button that Julie has. I'm talking about Will had to have heard. Oh, yeah. So Will heard Ashley flip it, right? And say to vote for Jimmy. So the thing is, though, Will might think it counted too. Because he could say, well, I did hear her say Jimmy after. So we just don't know. We don't know what's all gonna go at play here. Ashley didn't even come into the camera space. All you have to see is the microphone here in her voice. I can't. Rachel's still there. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a wild week. I love that Jimmy didn't even really let them look into the audience. I thought the head snake was what she did just do. I can't believe it. Oh, Julie was frazzled. Yeah, no, I thought the head shake was what did she just do, right? Like that's kind of how I took it too, Laura. So it's possible that he was saying like, oh man, this is crazy. Or maybe he's reacting like it doesn't even count. Like I just don't know. And I want to find out those answers. Like I'm excited to find that out. Because either way, it means for fun still. Meanwhile, Ashley is in Ava's shower. Be great if everybody in the living room heard no. Julie said it messed her up all night. It's crazy. It's crazy. What a wild turn of events it's been. And I think we're in for a wild week. I think it's going to be a fun time. I will say, though, yeah, we have been going. We have been for 3 hours now. 3 hours. And it's been awesome. I want to say, if you are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this stream, if you had a good time, smash that like button. Can't tell you how much it helps. If you hit that notification bell, you'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. We will be live again for Sunday's episode, but we also will have daily live feed updates all season long. So we'll be back again tomorrow morning with a nice condensed update for you. Again, I really can't thank you guys all enough for all the support you guys give me. It has been just overwhelming with support, and I cannot thank you guys enough. Check out all of my other stuff. We got Twitter, we got the Discord. Discord's a great place to hang out and chat BB. Bunch of other great channels on there too. Check out the Ori Fund. Listen, Ori Fund is the most direct way. Who's that? Who's that? Skee Ball! Just as I said it! Skee Ball in of the Ori Fund! With 25 Skee Ball! Skee Ball, you legend! Thank you so much, Skee Ball! Ori Fund, it's the most direct way to support the channel. And it helps support Oris everywhere. Skee Ball, thank you so much! It was like perfect timing. But you can check all that stuff out. I seriously, I say it a lot, I know, but seriously, thank you guys for all the love and support. Jimbo coming in with the $30 super chat. Thanks for the awesome updates. You guys are too much. You're too much. We're supposed to be ending. We're supposed to be ending. I support Ori even though he's an Eagles fan. You guys are awesome. We will be back again tomorrow. I cannot thank you guys enough for all the love. You're amazing. And I will see you next time.
I won't let this go down. I'm gonna get around. You can't admit that I am doing well. Your life is slipping down the well. Like a match within the water, you are useless. Like a match.